Ghost, we make him fly like a ghost. If he want talk on the game, the heater gon' turn into toast. If he pull out on his left on, he was just doing a distance. Promise we ain't gon' miss him. His soul gon' fly when we lift him. Bye, good riddance. Why is this harm her feelings? To the top on a mission. I got a shot, take it with precision. You ain't up if you ain't down to get it. Fuck your bob if you ain't vibing with us. No, no, no. Bye, bye, bye. Clock him out. He ain't gon' talk when the Glock is off. You ain't gon' talk when the Glock is off. Headshot, knock him out. Ah, get him. Bye, good riddance. Sorry I had to do this. Sorry I'm being a nuisance. I just gotta get it. Ha, I'm Mary Jeans on my Louis V for the belt.
Everyone, how are you guys? I am just waiting for Kevin. I did speak to him earlier. He will be here, so I'm going to be patient and I'm going to say hello to my peoples real quick while we wait for the star of the hour. Hey, Celia Ward, my New York sister. You will be listening. Okie dokie. She says hi to Kevin as well. Hey, Wanda Steves, my sweetie pie. Yes, saying hello. Caddy, I know you will be catching the replay. How are you, Chula, my sweetie pie? BB from VA, how are you, my girl? Stephen Crisco, hey, sweetie pie. How you doing? How you doing? Hey, JJ Manita, how are you, sweetie? Code, hey, my sweet Code, how are you? You will be listening. That is a very good. You will be in the bushes. So nobody pee in the bushes, please. We have a few people in the bushes tonight. So if you could just use the porta potty down the street, we would really appreciate it. Refrain from peeing in the bushes. I repeat, no peeing in the bushes tonight. Hey, Bliss Chris, how are you, sweetie pie? Listening at work. I understand. Hey, my Vera, how you doing? Hey, badass granny, how are you, shorty? Nice to see ya. Hey, Cheryl, how are you, sweetie? Hey, Lindsay. Uh-oh. Stacy Avocado. Stacy Avocado. Hey, my favorite avocado, how are you? Hi, Mustang Sally. How you doing, sweetie? Nice to see ya. Hey, Pat Wetzel, my favorite girl in the whole wide world. How you doing? Hey, Miranda. How are you, sweetie? Nice to see ya all. So nice to see ya. Hey, Pamela Barr, my beautiful Pam. I hope you're okay tonight. I hope everything is well. And I hope you're doing okay. So I think I said hello to everybody. So I'm going to turn on my camera. You know how that goes. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday, TGIF. Yes, 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 ma'am. I hope you are all having a great evening. As I said, we are waiting for the man of the hour. Maybe I should send him the link again. Maybe, just maybe. Let us see. Oh, okay. Okay. So he's running late. He's running late. Hold on. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay, so I didn't see the message until now where he asked me to push it back to 7:15. So, yeah. So, oh my God, Vera. Vera, I'm going to have to message you about that girl because that turned out to be a whole ass mess. So we no longer have a house guest. I'm just going to keep it like that. But I will, yeah. Yeah, it was unfortunate. They just weren't on the same page and I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be easy. But it was, some people just expect free rides. So yeah, we're gonna leave that alone. That's what I guess that's yeah, I'm gonna call you, Vera. I'm gonna call you. Okay. Okay, hold on. Check my DMs, you mean, JJ? Not my members, right? Like, what the hell, girl? What the hell? What you mean, girl? Okay, cool. All right. Oh shit. Okay. All right, JJ, I'm gonna drop the link for the JJ so she could keep me company until Kevin comes. He is coming, guys. He's coming. He's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. You ain't gonna have to deal with just selfie. But I'm gonna have JJ up here until Kevin comes. So this is for the JJ. Ik klik is the link, JJ. Um, so I guess what I can do also is like talk a little bit. Yeah, he's on his way, guys. He's on his way. So I guess what we can do is I can just talk to you about my experience on my side. It is 6:37. It's 6:37. So he'll be here right after 7. If you guys want to leave and come back, I get it. I'm just gonna talk about my experience in corrections a little bit. Because when Kevin comes, I do want him to talk about his experience as being a corrections officer, because our experiences are totally different. Um, Sorry. Hi, JJ. Oops, did I? What the hell? Hi, JJ. How are you, Manita?
Hi,
Oh, I
I
was
am
like pushing you.
good. I just thought, uh-oh, she's gonna be up there solo. Although I know you could do a little bit. You're amazing at
Oh,
doing
thank you.
solo, but I got a
Yep.
big old mouth, so TGIF, motherfuckers.
So I just as you can see, I put a jail cell behind us. I got to do extra shit, but yeah, yeah.
We're
So
in
I guess
jail.
jail cell, right? I never want to see one of those jail cells again in my life, ever, ever, ever. Yeah. So I'm good.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Why don't you tell the peoples some of your like what is something that stands out to you that is most memorable about your time in prison?
Um, Being
Because you were
locked
in
up,
prison, right? Like it
being
wasn't just
locked
a
up. It was
jail,
jail.
it
It
was
was
actual
Rikers.
prison.
So I guess you could compare it to like county jail, I guess, because okay, because in New York it's different, right? You have upstate New York, and then you have in New York City is the jail, Rikers. It's actually an island. So it's Rikers Island. You're actually on an island. It's off of Queens. So like if you're in the borough of Queens, you would have to go over a bridge into its own island. We have many islands. We have Ward's Island that used to have a lot of mental institutions. They, had Typhoid Mary confined to one of the islands a long time ago in New
Yes, I
York.
remember that. I remember that
Yeah,
story, typhoid. Yeah, that was a crazy
Typhoid
story.
Mary,
Wow.
yeah. And then they had certain islands where when the outbreak of tuberculosis, they were quarantined to the islands. So
Wow.
Rikers is a island for the jail. There's two jails. There's the men's jail and the women's jail. The women's building is called Rose M. Singer. Um, they call it Rosie's house. So I was in Rosie's house, and it's a huge building. And then they have actually tents outside that are called the Sprungs. And I was sentenced to 2 city years. Now, if you get like 1.5, which is like 1 year and a half, anything like that, 1.5, 3.5, you automatically, that is state time. You have to do it upstate. I was given 2 city years, which is a flat year. So you do that in the city. So that's the only difference. Had I been given, let's say instead of 12 months, had I been given 15 months, I would have automatically went upstate. But because they called it a city year, 2 city years, I was able to do my time in Rikers. As I said before, I would have preferred to have gone to upstate. You're able to have makeup. It's just different. Rikers is jail for a reason. So I was at Rikers for my stay, my whole stay in jail, and I guess the most memorable would be to me is the realization that you're not going home. Hi, cats. How are you? I'm gonna say Cat T because then I have Cat, the U.S. Navy vet. So just so I could Cat T, Catty,
Yes.
Cat T. Okay, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. That her right there, Marie's sister. Anyway, hi, beautiful girl. Hey, Kira. Sorry
Is
if
that
you're listening.
Marie's sister? I was
Yeah,
wondering. Oh, it is?
yes.
Okay. I was wondering. I'm like, what which one? Like I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
but
Savage's
hi
sister.
Kat. I wasn't
Yes.
sure. Hey
Yes.
Teresa, welcome, and Lisa
Hey,
Ann.
Teresa. Hey, Lisa Ann. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Anybody that just came in, Kevin, I almost said code. Kevin is on his way. He just had to do some family stuff, drop some, family off, but he will be here. He did text me. He's on his way. I told him we'll hold down the fort till he gets here. So he is on his way. He will be here. So we will just talk to you and tell you a little bit about my experience so that when Kevin does come up, I won't be interrupting him like I usually do and just let him speak and maybe ask him some questions. Um, but yeah, I think the most, wait, Pam, I always thought Rikers. No, right. So no, there's two separate jails. There's the men's jail and the women's jail. And when you're outside, like, because when I was in jail, I did horticulture. I spent all my time working. I took classes. I joined the military program, which on Rikers is called STEP. And I voluntarily, that program is for parole violators. Hi, Just John. How are you? Hi, Lenny. How are you? I'm so glad to see you guys. Um, so STEP was basically an alternative for people that were parole violators. Instead of doing a longer term, you went into the military program and you only had to do 62 days, and then you would graduate and you would go home. At first, you would go home that same day as graduation, then they changed it, you would go home the next day. But for somebody like me that was sentenced, it wasn't mandatory, it was optional. And because I had never been to jail before, I was like freaking out. Like I got sentenced. I remember the day I got sentenced, and mind you, I was not doing well. You know what I mean? I had a baby at home. My son was like 6 months old. And I've talked about why I went to jail. I try not to talk about it too publicly here because again, everything gets weaponized against me. And I don't care. I just don't want to see it sprawled all over. Not for me, for my sons. They know what happened. They know who I am. I don't hide anything for them, but because for their privacy and their respect, I don't talk about too much publicly anymore. I've learned from my mistakes. But I had one of my son was 6 months old when I went to jail, and I was terrified. Had a small son, and I was like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like when it sets in that you're not going home. So I remember the day I got sentenced, excuse me, I was back in my housing area and they came immediately and they were like, listen, we have Step, trying to sell me on Step. Hi, Stormy Rivers. Nice to see you, sweetie. And I remember just, they were like, listen, it's a clean area of the jail. You get paid just for being in Step. And then you can also work, which is an extra income. And I was like, it's clean, it's structured. They have groups. They also do recovery groups, all these groups. You group all day. So it's kind of like a program setting more in the jail. So I signed up that day and they moved me that day. And because I wasn't a parole violator, I could recycle every 62 days. When I graduated, I recycled, which meant I stayed in the program and I just joined another squad. And I remember I became squad leader. I would sing the national anthem. I would make up the cadences for the graduation, all this stuff, and it kind of helped me not to feel like I was in jail so much, because it was so clean there. You woke up at 5:30 in the morning. You did have military corners. Your lockers had to be super clean. Your uniform had to be ironed. We wore greens, and we did get the best uniforms. We had military uniforms, military boots, really nice for jail. You know what I mean? And it was just the better place to be. I didn't want to be in general population, not because I was scared, but because it was like your time just went so slowly. Even if you worked, I worked in the cafeteria, the time just went so slowly. You come back out of work, people are just sitting in the day room watching TV, and it was just the time just went so slow. And when I joined STEP, the time went so fast. You wake up at 5:30 in the morning, you have groups, you go to work. That's where I worked horticulture. I grew my own garden. I had my own strawberries, my own peppers. You could eat what you grew.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
I had my own garden. We each had our own gardens. You could grow, another person was growing watermelons, and it was just amazing. You get to take care of your garden, tend your garden, you're outside. So I enjoyed step a lot, and it didn't make me feel like I was cooped up in jail so much. And I was
But
able, sorry, go ahead, what?
oh, no, no, go ahead, finish. I was going to say, I'll ask you a question when you're done.
No, and I got so many awards for being there. My stepmom came to my graduation. I had no idea she was gonna come. I remember
Oh,
because your family could come to your graduation, and what was good about step was when they came to your graduation, you all got to eat with your family, have a meal together. Um, and it didn't feel like jail. It was like trailers, and you got to spend your graduation day with your family. I wasn't able to go home. The people were able to go home with their family, but then they switched it. You had to wait till the next day. But that was the hardest part when my stepmom left and I knew I wasn't leaving with her. Um, but
yeah, that would
and
be hard, especially like with kids and that kind of stuff too. Yeah, that would
yeah, I
be
didn't see my
extremely
kids.
difficult.
I didn't see
But
my kids after bed.
most of the questions that I would have in my biggest curiosity, because thank God, like
Thank you.
knock on wood, right? Like I've not been to jail or prison. However, I wonder, like my biggest wonder is about sex. Is that wrong? Because I
No, that's
feel
not wrong.
like
Hey,
isn't that
Alexander
too
Jacob.
isn't it
Sorry.
like against some sort of rules or something if you flick the bean or whatever? Like, isn't that like against the rules and you get in
Against
trouble?
for listen, guys, this is over 18.
Yeah,
My
over
channel is
18.
not for kids, never will be.
And if
We
Cindy's kids are listening, cover your damn ears, okay? Cover them.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my kids, yes, please. Yeah, I already know.
Yeah.
Anyway, my kids talk to me about everything. But it was frowned upon to have relations. Okay, I'm talking about inmate on inmate now. Listen,
Yes,
inmate
yes.
with officers, that's some serious stuff. But I do have members only where I did share that did happen. We ain't gonna act like that didn't happen.
Right.
There were some officers that did have relationships with women. I witnessed a few of those. I had an officer be inappropriate with me, an officer that worked in the mess hall that was my superior, and I reported him and I shouldn't have. I spoke to another officer that I thought was cool about it, and I learned my lesson after that they're gonna stick together, which duh, I should have known. Um, but it does happen. Hey, juror number 6, it happens a lot with inmates. I had relationships in prison, in jail. I had
Mm-hmm.
quite a few, but I've always shared I'm bisexual. I've had girlfriends before jail. So in jail, it wasn't like there's a thing, and this is not to be offensive because I know you have to be
Stud.
politically correct.
The
No, but,
stud.
but
Isn't that
women
what it's
that
called?
went in and had a relationship with another woman that had never done that before was called gay for the stay.
Oh, I've
That's
heard
what
that
they would
before.
call it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's gay for the stay because you're in jail and you're like, and these are terms that we used in jail. Again, these are antiquated terms. They may not be politically correct right now. I'm speaking the way I would when I was in jail. Okay, I don't use these terms, but um, the the women that looked or tried to be the male part in the relationship were called aggressors. And then you had the femmes, the ones that were like me, that were just myself. And then you had the ones that wore the boxers. and never took off their sports bras, that even if you were in a relationship with them, you were not to touch their breasts. That was a no-no for some of them. So there was a lot of rules, a lot of etiquette, but there were a lot of relationships. Now, if you get caught in somebody's cell, you're in trouble. You know, you're not supposed to be in cells, in each other's cells. There were also dorm settings, so it was easier in dorm settings, in the shower, yada yada yada. But so it happened a lot. It happened a lot.
Well,
The officers
it's
didn't really
human
bother.
nature. You
Yeah,
know,
but
it's human nature. Like I cannot imagine being locked up for 20 years and being told, "Nope, you could never have the big O again. You're doomed." I know. I'm weird for probably thinking about that mostly,
no,
but
you're not.
it's
That's
true.
common. That's
I
common. That's
want
human
to know.
nature. That's human
It is
nature,
human nature.
and I want you to ask honest questions, because anybody would ask that. And I think that especially for women, like when in a men's jail, those are more taboo questions, right? Like,
Yeah.
to ask, because men are not supposed to really talk about it, even though I am not only bisexual, I am also an ally of the LGBTQIA plus community, definitely. Um, but it happens a lot more in the men's jails as well. There is, on the down low, there's a lot. There's a lot. And so it does happen a lot, but I can only speak for the women's prison. I wasn't in a men's prison. um the officers, the majority of the officers really didn't bother you as long as you were respectful. Like, don't, get do it recklessly and get them in jeopardy of losing their job because they know you getting it on with your girl. Like, still be on point, still respect their job, but they really didn't care. There's even women that have marriage ceremonies in there and all this stuff, and it's respected and regarded as official. You know what I mean? So they're really,
So it's not a real marriage. It's like you
I mean,
called
you
them a
can get real married, but then there's just the ceremonies to openly say that you're together, and those were okay. Officers really didn't write you up or anything for that.
for
Yeah.
women speaking. It may not be this now. I have no idea, and you may know, Cindy, or Kevin may know, but Kevin probably know. But isn't
Mm-mm.
the the isn't the other partner, say to you, because you're so feminine, isn't the other one that you would marry called a stud? Is that what you said it's
They
called?
are, but not everybody is attracted to aggressors. There are,
Oh, aggressors. Okay.
yeah, or
Yep. I
studs
remember.
or dykes. Sorry. Those are, but studs, yeah, really. There's still people, gay women still refer to themselves as studs, some women.
Oh,
So
okay.
not, it's all depends on your personal preference, as with anybody. There are women that like to be feminine, have their hair done and all of that, that like other women that are femme. So it
Right, right.
doesn't,
True.
I think
Okay.
that
I
that is the
gotcha.
thing. There are some that want more masculine looking women because it's kind of a fetish thing too. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm just trying to speak straight
It's
up.
true, though. Truth is truth, and facts should be able to be spoken without fear of backlash. To
Yeah,
me, that's
because they're in
insane.
jail, and some that have never experienced relationships with women, you're in jail and this person is masculine and it's the closest thing to a man that you have. So I know a lot of women that were gay for the stay, and I know some women that had never been with women and became lesbian or butch. Yes. Thank you, Kat. Or butch. Yes. So that happens. I'm attracted to women. I'm not attracted to only masculine looking women. I'm attracted to beautiful women. I mean, not to say that masculine women aren't beautiful. I hope you understand
I
what I'm
get you. Yeah, no, no, no. I get you. You want somebody who is more masculine than somebody who is like yourself, like very, very feminine. Because you are your makeup and your clothes and your hair, and
saying. He's over
So
18. He's over 18, Stephen. Yeah, he's over 18.
who is?
Alexander
Oh
J.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
He's
Over
over.
18.
He's in his 20s. Yeah. So Yeah, because I asked Steven, trust me, like, listen, I'm not even gonna, this is my son. This is my son. Because people probably know that I'm not a liar. I'm not a good liar. This is my son. Don't come for my son because my son comes here with his name. He's the only one of my sons that comes into my chat. Just leave my kid alone. My kid doesn't come here
Finally, I
starting
see him
trouble.
and I'm like, I don't want to,
This is
like,
my
I don't want to
son.
out
Leave my son
anything.
alone. Yes, leave my son alone. He's been here a lot. I can't lie. I'm not a good liar. That is my child. Leave him the fuck alone. Y'all want to come for me all day? Come for me all day. Do not come for my son. Because y'all can look back in all my chats. He doesn't come here. He doesn't talk crap about anybody. He comes and just says hello, pleasantries. That's it. He's here to show his mother support. So I'm trying to get away from all the nonsense. Don't come for my kids, and there will be no issue. Say what you want to say about me. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, no, no, no. And don't, because I will too, because there's no messing with anybody's kids. And Jacob, just so you know, I am Titi JJ.
Yes, he knows.
Nice to meet
He
you.
knows.
I just, I never wanted to like out it in chat when he
I
comes
know.
in. I'm like, oh, oh no, oh,
Yeah, I
what to
know.
say?
But I just, that's my kid, and he's 23. So as I didn't tell him to come in here, but I'm not gonna stop him because we're not. Anyway, whatever. It's my kid. Just shut the hell up. Don't tell me what to do with my kids. Oh, well, your
No,
kid is fair game. No, he's not on a panel. No, don't. Anyway, let me not even jump out the
he
window.
didn't even know how to tag somebody
He
on
doesn't even know
YouTube.
how to
So
tag.
they need to stop. They need,
He's just
like,
coming to show
anybody
me
needs to
support.
stop. They
That's
better
it.
not ever,
Hey,
ever,
Breezy
ever.
Girl, my beautiful Breezy Girl. If you guys haven't subscribed to Breezy Girl's channel, what are you waiting for? Let's do
Yes,
it. Let's do it. Her numbers are
please.
growing, and I'm so happy for her. I'm telling you, they do it on purpose. I swear. I swear. Is that they hear me come in here and go live, and they let the dog out on purpose. It's all right though, because I don't know what they think. I'm not gonna stop talking. Sorry. Anyway, okay. Sorry. Anyway, hi Reagan. How are you? Thank you guys for being so sweet to my son. He's just likes to come and show me support. That's all.
That's sweet.
That's all he's
Yep. And that's all, Jules ever wanted to do. And then,
yeah.
then she was
Yeah.
threatening. I wanted
I
to like
get it,
throat punch
Steven.
someone, but
I get it, Steven. And that's why I was like, you know what? Let me just let the cat out of the bag. Damn it, please. Yes, somebody please drop Breezy Girl's channel.
yes, please.
Ese perrito me tiene loca. But anyway, what can I do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's jail is also dangerous. I only had one fight in jail, and I was fairly new, and I think they were trying to intimidate me because I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a piercing. I had a Marilyn Monroe. Hold on, hold on,
Oh
guys.
yeah, the little thing, the Marilyn Monroe. My daughter, Jules, has that. She has a little birthmark right there. Normally, it's a birthmark, so she got lucky with that because it looks really, really cute on her. Busy but listening. Don't come for Cindy, son, or you'll get to deal with me. I got your back, young man. Okay, back to listening. Love you, Cindy and JJ and my friends. JFid, we love you too. Thank you. And honestly, people, you have worry if JFid wants to come to you, okay? Because she don't come for you, because she don't mess
Hi,
around. She's not
J-Fid.
playing.
How are you? Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't mess with J-Fid. Yep,
No,
she
and she's
love you, J-Fid.
straightforward.
She is.
She
I love
likes
my
you or
J-Fid.
she don't. And thank
Yeah.
God we're on the side that she likes us.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My son has been fighting with T-Mobile about his phone for eons, so he just needed me to put the phone on three-way for him. So sorry about that, guys.
Oh, we know, Breezy. We know. Breezy Girl says, just want everyone to know I appreciate the
Yeah,
subscribers. However, my channel isn't about clicks and views or
yes,
monetization. It's
yep,
for everyone to watch the
yep,
slanderous, dangerous lies that Jen says. Absolutely. And everyone, because that was somebody who was a bit of an integral part of the 90 Day Fiance community. So the things that she says, people are going to want to hear it. But I would suggest subscribing to Breezy Girl's channel and watching the lives that she uploads that Jen does.
yes.
Because
Oh,
watching
Kevin.
live,
Okay. We'll be here, Kevin. We're waiting. Take your time. We're here. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. Getting hyped. He's, pumping himself up like Rocky or something. He's like, I'm ready.
But
Dun,
you're right. You're right. And I
dun.
think Breezy Girl, it's never been about that. And Breezy Girl is our
No, it
friend.
hasn't.
So that's why we want to get her numbers up. She hasn't been um doing any of that. She said it's not about monetizing or making money off of
Right.
Jen's name, like Jen likes to say. She's playing her words because a lot of us, well, not me, she hasn't blocked me yet. Um, but a lot of people get blocked and they can't see it. And listen, it's better to be able to see it without interacting with her, in my opinion.
I do too.
Sorry, give me a second.
Yeah, Breezy. I watch your videos. I know you never expected the subscribers, but
My
I like to listen to those videos on like 1.5 or 1.75 speed because you know how Jen is. She repeats herself a
yeah.
lot and it's a whole lot to take in. But some of the accusations she makes is like, holy hell, this is like a real life soap opera or something.
Yeah.
Like accusing people of crimes, like real crimes.
You know why
It's
I think
crazy
it's
to me.
important for people to subscribe to Breezy Girls channel. She did it for the community, but I think it's important so that people that may not know and that may think that people are being cruel or harsh understand why people feel the way they feel, why it needs to be discussed, and it kind of not only do you get to see the things that she's saying that's not okay, right? But there are people like her family. I'm not gonna, because you already know that she like talking about my kids, her family that are affected by the things that she's saying online. And I can't imagine being angry at my sons no matter what happened and coming here and doing that. Talking
Boxing.
about my sons, right?
Yeah.
Reading off their medications, reading off when they had reduced lunch. Like what? How do you not anyway? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to start on Jen because oh my god. Okay. But I'm just saying
Yeah,
it's
right. We can
important.
go on and on and
Yeah,
on, but
I think
yeah.
it's important because Breezy just puts it on her channel. She's not adding commentary to it, so she's not mocking her. She's not doing any of that. She's just putting the words out there because they're deleted on IG. And again, a lot of people are blocked, may not be able to see it, so that you can see it for yourself, so that you can form your own opinion and understand why people feel the way they feel. And I think that it's better that way because you're not interfering with her directly. Again, when she sees the numbers go up, her ego gets inflated and she gauges that number increase as okay, they want me back on YouTube. And I'm not here to gatekeep and say who should be on YouTube, who shouldn't, but I think right now she really needs to focus on herself. She's not doing too well. She's not, if we're honest, and I know when I need a break, I take a break.
We
When I
do.
need
Yep.
a mental break, when it becomes
Mhm.
too much for me, I disconnect, even if it's for a few days, a week. I've done it. Me and JJ have done it. We've
Both.
disconnected
Yep.
when we need it. And sometimes people refuse to do that. There is such a thing as being addicted to the internet. Um, being devoid of attention so much that you just crave any attention. And it makes me sad for her. But then when she says the things, okay, this one thing I want to say because it bothered me again, I'm not trying to, it's a big divide. Some people feel like you should not talk about her at all, ice her out. I'm not here to tell anybody that. I just think she's at a dangerous place right now. Um, and I will never want to contribute or add to that, but I don't think that documenting what she's saying is doing that in any way. Um, but what she said, when she said she is the white Harriet Tubman, let me tell you.
Oh my God. I almost lost it. I'm like, this bitch
Yeah,
did
almost,
not. Now
almost.
I've heard it all. Now
Yeah.
I've heard it all. Wow.
By Stacey Avocado. When she
Have a
said
good
she's
night.
the white Harriet Tubman, that is so disrespectful to Harriet Tubman. That was so
Yeah.
disrespectful. Like, first of all, you are the anti Harriet Tubman. You
Yes.
seriously. Like what? This woman was the most selfless woman born into slavery. risked her life every day to help others be freed from slavery, and you have the unmitigated gall to say that you are a white Harriet Tubman.
Hmm.
And again, she's not well, and I can say that, Cindy, she's not well, she's not well. But that shit right there, that shit just hit different. It was like, what is no. Mm-mm. I
She's,
know. And that's what I try to remind myself. She's ignorant. She's ignorant. I know that. I know that. And but sometimes, man, it's like, what the hell did she just say? Hey, yeah, yeah, I've been missing you. I've been wondering how you were doing. Nice to
it's,
see you.
hey, yeah, it's
Yes.
understandable. Like everybody is ignorant to some subjects, right? But at the same time, if you're told over and over again that something you said is ignorant and hurtful, you would think that she would apologize. She didn't. She don't care. Not at all. She's gonna say what she wants to say. So
She
yeah,
is,
I
and it's just a lot, and that's why I think just having it documented is important, and it's playing out on social media. Um, and as long as I know that I'm not going into her chat to troll her, I'm not going in her chat to
right.
help her spiral. Like I'm not in there like, hey, I just saw Clint making out with such and such, on TikTok, sending her into a frenzy. That people need to stop doing that. Like stop going into her chat trying to push her buttons, to make her act out. You don't need to do that. You can see when her the wheels are turning in her head. You can see she'll stop and she's like, I'm piecing it all together. No, you're really not. You're really not. You're really not. And sometimes I watch her and I feel really, really sad in my heart. Like, damn. And then she says shit and it turns to rage again. Like it's a roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster with Jen. It really is. And that's why I just rather watch it on Breezy Girls channel. That way I don't feel the impulse, because when I would go into her lives, I felt the impulse to like fucking write something, and I had to keep myself from doing that. So I just prefer to watch it through my
Yeah, she doesn't listen to anybody. Anybody
low
that
key.
tries even the smallest way to just tell her, to talk to someone that she may need help, like real help.
Yes,
She don't want to hear any of it. Not only does she not want to hear it, but she
yes.
says that telling her that she should get help is against the
It's
law.
against the law.
So
Yeah.
we are criminals,
And she said
people.
there's
We
no
are
such thing as a
criminals.
5150. Oh, yes, there really is.
Oh, yes,
There
there is. I'm
totally
in
is.
Florida, and there's definitely a 5150. I
She
mean,
is.
I
She
haven't
is.
been
Yeah.
5150'd, although I don't
And
know,
I
maybe I
know
need
that
it
that can be
sometimes.
traumatic too. Getting 5150 can be very traumatic for somebody. I understand that. But if it's for the greater good, like Eugenia Cooney, who's another one that is still needs a lot of help, in my opinion,
Oh my God,
especially from an
yes.
ED. She was
Hmm.
5150 against her will, and she's still online, and it's unfortunate. It's traumatic, but sometimes what can you do? I was angry that this is not a Baker's Act state, because I would have definitely had my husband Baker's acted. I would have definitely had him put into treatment against his will. I would have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Breezy Girl says, full transparency. Lately, I feel pressured to post the videos ASAP. I'm doing the best I can, but
No,
I
no,
don't feel like
don't
I
feel like that.
like to feel like but I don't like to feel like I
No,
feel
you're
like I'm obligated. No, you shouldn't.
you're not
Breezy,
obligated.
forget it. You know what? If you post it 5 days later, people should be thankful that they're able to use it, because people are using it for their content and making money. So don't ever feel bad.
No,
You're not monetized, and you don't plan to get monetized. You're doing this just to show how problematic and the lies that she says is,
yes,
and then it's documented, and I fully
yes.
support that. So don't ever feel like
Yeah,
you
don't
have
ever
to
feel like
do
that.
that. That's crazy. Or that you need to do it like ASAP. I mean, people have lives. You've got a job. Like,
She
I
does. She has
can't.
a family. She has a life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed where I can listen to a lot of things because I'm ADHD, and I know it doesn't make sense, but with ADHD, if I'm if I have work to do, I do it better if I have background noise. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is, and
Yeah,
I love to listen to things, on
I'm gonna tell
YouTube,
you,
and I'm
Pam.
able to, but not everybody can do that in their job.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
stop it. Like people
That's
got
true.
lives, kids, jobs, husbands,
Yeah,
wives, whomever.
yeah,
So yeah,
you're right.
no, you do it when
I
you
can't
can,
find
Breezy.
Tennessee. I mean Tennessee. I can't find Tennessee whiskey. I wanted to say hi. Hi, Tennessee whiskey. Sorry, I can't find your comment, but I see people saying hello to. Hi, sweetie. How are you? But Pam, she was okay. The reason she was in Roadhog's chat is because Roadhog was talking about Siwa Moon, and she was already endorsing Roadhog on her IGs because he was coming for Siwa. So she was there for it. But she used that opportunity to come for anybody she had an issue with. She brought her own crap into the chat. I heard afterwards, I forgot who said it. I just Jules. Watching Just Jules, she was like, yeah, she came in and she was fighting with, people in his chat, and she ended up
Uh-huh.
getting blocked. And she ended up getting
Yeah.
blocked because she was bringing her own mess there and people didn't know who she was, and she went in there as if nothing ever happened. And it was weird. And even on IG, she was like, Mr. Hog. She calls everybody like Mr.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know.
Mr. Hog, if you need a mod, like girl.
He's not gonna mod her. He's not gonna mod her.
Because
I know Chronic and Sunshinery and all. Yeah, there's a fat chance she'll ever be modded
everybody will
because
get blocked from his chat then.
yes, because everybody she doesn't like or says a word, that anything, any sort of background, whatever, she'll just go ahead and block and delete and no, 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 no.
Yes.
So her
Yes, that
ass
breaks my
was,
heart too about the youngest. It breaks my heart.
mm-hmm, yeah,
It breaks my
yeah,
heart. It just breaks
that
my
was
heart. You know,
awful,
to
awful.
hear
And
that she had an issue. I'm gonna keep it vague for a reason, but you can go watch it on Breezy Girls and you'll understand. The cops were called to her house for an altercation with her minor, and that broke my heart. And nobody would have known had she not said it on a live. You know what I mean? That's the thing. We have to be very careful what we share online. Um, because she shared it online and then she accused other people of having called, and of
oh
course people
yes,
want to defend themselves, man. Like, I know how hard it is when things are said about you and you want to defend yourself. So I'm not here to gatekeep or anything. I just know it's a hard situation to be in. You know what I mean? And so I'm just gonna watch from the sidelines. I'll just watch it. And nobody, please, we're not here to tell Breezy Girl, when you're gonna post and all of that. it's
never,
it's
no.
an honor that she even does it for us, so that we can see it. But we have to remember she has a real life, she has family, and she's doing it to document it, and I don't want her to feel any pressure to do that. And I have seen other content creators now, somebody was like having a little shade at Breezy Girl, and I thought that was a little gross because Breezy Girl's not throwing shade at anybody. She's not
Oh,
trying to break the story or post it first. She's not trying to do any of that. All she's doing is documenting.
you
And so
gotta let me know. Let me know. Message me who was messing with Breezy
I
Girl
don't want her to
or
start
throwing
feeling that
shade.
pressure. Yeah, like, oh, and now, no, I'm not getting it from Breezy Girl. Nobody said that. Like, it's just like, Amzi, stop it. Nobody cares if you post it. Do your thing. Post whatever you want. Breezy Girl's not competing. She's not. She's not. So, and I'm not speaking for Breezy Girl. I don't mean to speak for you, Breezy Girl, but it pissed me off because that's not what she's doing. She's not trying to get it out there first. Like, she's not doing none of that for none of that. Her purpose for posting them has remained the same. We pushed her channel because we wanted more eyes on it because I love her. Anyway, that's all. But she's not competing, so let's not do that. We don't got to tear somebody else down to try to build ourselves up. We don't have to do that. So, and I'm gonna leave
No,
that.
you're right. You're right. Nobody should be doing that, whatsoever. She has said multiple
Amzi,
times that she doesn't plan to monetize her videos,
she
whereas
doesn't.
Amzi and others are monetized. So there is that difference. there is. And,
There is
you
a
know, to
difference.
me, somebody who's not getting monetized and is taking the time to do this is the one that I will support
Definitely. And plus
for
she's
the
our
most part.
girl. So it's
Exactly.
you know what I mean? It's an easy decision. It's not a like hard decision for me.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Breezy has had our backs multiple times when
She
she
really
didn't
has.
have to. So
She
yeah,
really
she's just a good person. She really is.
she really is. I'm dropping the link for Kevin.
Kevin, what's up, Kevin?
Okay. Hopefully he sees it. So yeah.
Yes, breezy girl. Exactly. Breezy girl, girl. Because I always say yes, girl. But yes, breezy girl, girl.
What the hell? I know when I say hey girl, it's always weird. I'm like breezy girl, hey girl,
I know. Right.
breezy girl
Exactly.
twice. So I understand that it is a little, but it is what it is. That's our girl. You understand? Hey, Lindsay. Good, you came back just in time because Kevin is coming up. And
Yeah, we
I'm
saw
really
she
grateful
posted
that
it.
he came to talk. I'm not an interviewer. There goes my Tennessee. I couldn't see you before.
Tennessee.
Posted the report. Oh, she did? She posted it where on IG, Tennessee? You have a great job. I know. You have a great job, you have a great life. And social media is not everybody's whole life. You know, some
Right.
people it may be all you have and not shading people. I know some people may not have family, for whatever reason, but not everybody, that's not their whole life. Social media is 10% of my life. 90% of my life is out here, and I love you guys and I enjoy social media, but trust and believe, shit, I got a life, an important
Yeah.
life, you know?
We all got things to do. You know, it's not just about YouTube. You know, for some, I understand if it's
That's right.
about YouTube for some, you know. Oh, pop. I heard Kevin come up.
Yes. And I respect that. Hey, Kevin, how are you? How you
How are
doing?
you, ladies? How's everybody doing?
We're
What's
good.
up, Kevin?
How are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
So thank you for being here. I'm
Of
sorry.
course.
I hope you're feeling better than you
Much
were.
better. Thank you.
Good. It's nice to have you here. Thank you. This is Kevin's first time here. Ladies, I know y'all want to say hello to Kevin. Say hello to Kevin.
Shout out to everybody in the
Hello,
chat.
Kevin.
Oh wow. See what posted it to it, but of course she did. But
Right.
so because you had things to take care of, I just started talking about my experience. I never really, so here in New York, well, I'm in Jersey, but in New York, some places have county jail, I guess. So I don't know if Rikers Island would be considered county jail. Um, I don't know, really.
Um, I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Because I believe Rikers deals with the jurisdiction of New York City, correct?
Yes, the
Yeah.
city. Yes.
So, yeah, because if you caught a charge up in upstate, you obviously wouldn't go all the way down to Rikers. So yes, it's county.
Right.
Where I was state. It was the big house. It was
Oh wow.
where the bad boys came.
Where
Okay.
death penalty is, death
What's that?
row, where death row would be for the
Nope.
state.
They moved death row around so many places. It was hi Wanda. Um, it was so many. It first started at the first prison that I started at. The first prison I started at was called Osborne. Osborne was the max. It was the level 5. It is. It was built in 81, 80 or 81. So it is severely outdated, and it is now ran as a level 3-4 today. They built a newer, updated facility, which is the new level 5, and they housed them there, but was literally within 20 feet of my facility. So when shit popped off, we often had to run over there and help out over there. So I saw my fair share of both sides.
Wow.
Hmm.
So did you deal with the men's prison?
Only men's.
Okay.
Only men's. I caught a little
Oh.
bit what you were saying with the women's, especially the rhetoric, and that is a foreign language to me. I couldn't even
Right.
go back and forth with you on some of the
Hmm.
language because I didn't deal with any women. The only women I dealt with were the staff. That's it.
Right. Right. So you have a completely different experience because the men's jails are completely different.
Yes.
Um.
However,
Mhm.
the one incident I did catch does occur in the men's facility because it's the nurses and the women COs who get caught up.
Oh.
It
Wow.
happens way too often.
Damn.
Oh, it happens. It happens often. And it happens to it happened to one of my classmates where she came in as this hard charger, do good, like wanted to go up in the ranks, and she was the first one to go. She was the first one to have a relationship.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's crazy, right? Your intentions are so pure, and like the
Yeah,
flesh
but
is just like,
I'll be honest with you, uh, these guys are sweet talkers. They have nothing but time to talk sweet to you.
true.
So when you're not getting that same attention at home, and this guy has 8 hours, sometimes 16 hours of nothing but rapping to you,
Yeah.
you know,
And imagine that they become fixated on that. Like you said, they have nothing but time in jail. And
yes.
it works the same way with the women. Because as I was stating, I know a lot of women inmates that had relationships with officers. And it was crazy because I know I can only speak about my experience, but there was one of the girls that I knew, she was messing with this officer. He was this big buff dude. I swear he looked like from that animated movie Toy Soldiers. Like he was buff with the
Yeah.
big top and then the small bottom like that.
Hmm.
And she was messing with him, and I remember she came to me and she told me, "Yeah, I'm seeing." Oh, I almost said his name. Holy shit! I'm seeing Officer such and such, and I was like, "I'm like, you sleeping with him?" I'm like, "Does he have condoms?" She's like, "No."
But see
I'm like, "Oh
Oh.
that right there, the fact that she found it so easy to tell you is why me personally would never cross that line. Because
mm-mm.
I mean, again, if I was a rookie and I just started, maybe, but I have 15 years and I know there's not one relationship, not one. There's not one inmate to staff relationship that doesn't
Mhm.
get found out. It doesn't happen.
That's very
Somebody
true.
squeals because the
Yep.
second so if you're the CO, Cindy, and I'm the
Hmm.
inmate, the
Hmm.
second you tell me no, I own you. You
Yes.
can never tell me no ever. Because
Oh my God, that's so
the second you
true.
do, I do this. Bye bye, Cindy.
Your job is gone. I never really thought about it that way, but that is so true. That's
They call it
crazy.
what they call it in the academy is called downing the duck. And there was like this long story behind it. But it is 1,000% true. And it will never ever, like, literally, is that one relationship. Now, if that person meant so much to you, right? If that person cared so much to you, why would that person put your pension and your family, your mortgage, your house in jeopardy?
Why
Why?
not wait, right? If it's
Yeah.
if it's real, and this person, you found these attributes that even though they've committed a crime, because I am a felon, and I don't think that because I committed a crime I was unredeemable because I haven't gotten in trouble in 25 years.
Right.
Um, why not wait? Why not just wait? You know what I mean? It's
That's
why risk it? And if you cared about somebody, you wouldn't risk their livelihood, their job, their reputation, everything. You wouldn't. It's selfish. That's the opposite of caring about somebody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have an example to where and it's unfortunate. A kid that used to be my workout partner. He's actually somebody that I went to a bunch of bodybuilding shows with. I mean, I know him very, very well. Spent a lot of time with him, and he unfortunately got caught up in drugs and started committing crimes. What's up, Code? Started
Hey,
committing
Code.
crimes, and obviously was running short on money. It's hard to keep up with a a bunch of other habits, including drugs.
Right.
So he started committing crimes, and one thing led to another. He ended up doing one too many crimes and ended up going to the big house. So long story short, he gets in there, and it's not 2 days of him being in there. He's already asking me to bring shit in.
Wow.
Supplements, you know, steroids.
Yeah.
Stuff to keep him up,
You know,
right? To keep him going.
it's chow time. He wants extra trays. That's something, no problem, bro. Because guess what? I'm not bringing it in. And I could care less. If the kitchen guy wants to throw you an extra tray, why do I care? I don't. So no problem. But the other shit from the outside, come on, bro. If you're really my boy, why would you put me in that position?
Exactly.
So, you know, that dude's out now, and I'll never fuck with him ever.
No, you shouldn't. And that's the same thing as when people are in prison and they have their wives, or because I remember when I was in jail, women would have people like their girlfriends or their husbands use their children to bring in drugs on the visits. And not only would they get arrested, the babies were taken, and it's crazy, in the diapers. I remember one of the girls had drugs in her baby's diaper, and I just can't understand it being that important for you to make a few bucks or to continue your addiction on the inside, that you're going to risk your baby being gone, your spouse being arrested, and now they're in jail right across from you. Like, you could just wave at them, you know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? They're in the other jail. That makes no sense.
Sin, I have there's a couple of audience questions.
Yes, because I can't see them, JJ. So
I got it.
Ask away. Anybody has questions, ask away.
Yes.
Juror number 6 asks, Kevin, are you shuffled around a lot as a CO to various prisons, or are you just at one facility?
Can you pull that question up?
Sure. Where is it? Who asked that, JJ?
Who asked it?
Juror number 6. Sorry.
Yes, juror did. Yep. Juror did.
Where is it, girl?
It's way up there. Kevin, are you shuffled around a lot as a CO to various prisons, or are you just at one facility?
Yeah, trying to make a bitch work her.
That is entirely up to you. When you first start, you have to go through a probationary period. It's a total of 9 months, but it's really 6 months in the facility. 3 months of that is in the academy, so you're not really, you're still learning, and you're in the academy, so you're not really at the prison. Once they assign you the prison that you're going to, it's a total of 6 months inside that prison. But as soon as you're off, you can put in for a transfer. What a big to basically pass your 20 years, right? So it's no longer 20 years, depending on age. If you're older, it could still be 20 years. I think if you get hired at age 30, you can still do 20 years. But now, anybody under 30, it's 25. But I fell under the 20-year rule. So what they say is every 5 years, transfer. Because once you jump to another facility, you now have to learn that whole facility, learn their codes, learn their key, basically our radio signals, all that. And then by the time you learn it and get used to the facility, boom, next thing you know, a year or two flew by. So anything to pass your time quicker, people say to do that. But I felt that once I got to a spot and I was comfortable with that spot, and I knew that spot like the back of my hand, and I liked a lot of the brass there, I felt comfortable, and I rather stay where I'm liked.
Right.
Yeah, I get you.
That's true.
And
sorry, go ahead.
Yaya asked Kevin, hi, can an inmate get transferred to another prison to be closer to family?
If that person, so what would help that person a lot more is the people on the outside writing that warden. Start writing that warden. And if it's a reason like, it's a hardship, it costs a lot in gas to drive to that facility all the time. Maybe you have elderly people that want to come visit you and it's hard on them. Right. The more you write and hound the counselors and the warden, the more you'll get.
Okay. And Code asks, Kevin, Why aren't conjugal visits in every state?
What the hell?
Mostly done in the South, right? Code, like they'd be happier prisoners, right?
I
That's a
agree.
concern of mine.
I agree. It would probably cut down on a lot of the staff to inmate relations. But
Forever Ish.
Yes, yes.
So they Forever Ish asked you New York State corrections. You don't have to dox yourself and say
no,
what
no,
state.
it's already out there. No, Connecticut, the state of Connecticut.
Connecticut. Yeah. And BB asked, Kevin, what made you choose to be a CO?
The benefits, and it's only 20 years. What our pension is 60% of our top 3 years. So if you hustle and you do a lot of overtime, and not even town police officers have our benefits, we can take our overtime pay. So let's just say, for argument's sake, numbers sake, I make 50 grand a year. Plus with overtime, I make another 50 grand. So that's now 100 grand. So if I do that for 3 straight years, my top 3 years is 100 grand. So now 60% of that is my retirement.
Oh wow. Yeah,
And
Wow.
it's
Oh.
and here's the big one: free medical for life for you and your family.
wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
Dang.
everybody knows how expensive medical care is.
Yes.
That in itself is worth doing the time for a lot of people. It's expensive, very
It
expensive.
is very expensive, and I think that is amazing. Hi, Kate. I know Kamikaze Kate. How you doing, girl? Question: would you get moved to another facility if you were inappropriate with an inmate or fired?
See, that's I can answer that twofold. If it was, and this is not being sexist or anything, I've seen this with my own eyes. When the female staff member had relations with the male inmate, she was asked to resign. Okay.
Mhm.
The male inmate, no, excuse me, the male CO who had relations with the female inmate down in Connecticut, it's called York CI. It's down in New Haven, Connecticut. He had to do jail time.
So he was prosecuted, not
He was
just asked to resign.
prosecuted. He was prosecuted, yes, and the female got to resign.
And that's it. You just resign. Do you still keep your pension if you resign?
No,
Okay.
no, she was completely. I mean, it's basically she
But
was
it's better
fired,
than
but
jail.
they did it quietly to where it didn't even make the paper. I mean, but
Get
this
it.
poor guy who got jammed up, it was all over the news and the paper and everything. So,
Yeah, so they did him dirty.
but
I mean,
to
even though
answer
he
the
did himself
question,
dirty, but
yeah, but to answer the question, it's called undue familiarity and it's immediate see you later. But
you're
if you are fully vested and are protected under the union, you'll have your basically not day in court, but the union will, if you're innocent, and it's because there's a lot of false accusations. A lot of times it's
true. That's
people
true.
just want to fuck your life up for whatever reason,
Because
and a
they
lot
may
of
like
people,
you and you didn't, go that route.
right,
Yeah.
right. So you do have the backing of a very strong union, which is another big perk of being in there.
Yeah. And that's important. That's important because your job is dangerous. I was saying that, the COs, you risk your life every day when you go in there. There's weapons, there's crazy weapons in jail. So you're basically putting your life on the line every day you go to work. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think it's important. Wanda says, Kevin, what was the worst part of your jobs?
Worst part of the job is, I think it's twofold. Number one, some of the crimes some of these particular people have committed were so horrendous, so disgusting, and yet you still have to treat them the same as everybody else. That's hard to do. Very hard to do, especially when it involves children.
Oh my
To
God.
treat someone that is a habitual sex offender, it is extremely hard on the human psyche to not want to do everything you can to mess with that person.
Right.
And I'm no angel. I definitely have looked the other way on certain circumstances. I have messed with their shit, their property. I just I've had my bad days.
I'm mad at you. I'm mad.
Simply because
Yeah.
though that some of these guys are so blatant about it and so unremorseful. It's like,
Yes.
oh, so you don't feel bad? Oh, okay, I got
They're
you.
like,
I got you.
yeah. Some of
Say
them
less.
even boast, right? They
Say
boast
less.
about the shit. Yeah.
Some of them
my
do.
s-
Some of them do.
my son was in when he was in the police academy, he had to go to our state prison and interview with death row inmates. And the one that he chose to interview with, it was absolutely insane. He said, "Mom, I've never in my life have been so enraged to talk to somebody." It was a former police officer that raped and killed a 12-year-old girl. And
Mm-mm.
my son told me that he literally, like, when the guy was telling him the story, because he sat face to face with him and had to interview him, and he said when the guy was telling him the story, he has never ever, and he's just such a mild mannered kid. He said
Hmm.
that he never wanted to reach across a table and strangle someone so much in his life from what he heard this man telling him that he did to this girl so very like callously.
Yeah.
I commend you, and thank God we have people like you that do what you do to keep these monsters in check.
I have a
Because
I have a
man,
similar I have a similar story to that, and I'll tell that in 1 second. The other not so pleasant part of the job is, let's say it's Christmas and you're getting ready to leave and go be with your family. Roll call comes along and somebody didn't show up. Guess what? Now you're staying for another shift.
Yep.
And you don't have a choice. So that it's called drafting. It's when they're short on staff, somebody calls out. And it's happened to me so many times to where the lieutenants messed up on the roster. They thought they had everybody. So I didn't, if you get a call early in the shift and you can mentally prepare that you're staying for another shift, it's doable.
Yeah.
But
Easier.
on a night, let's say you're going out for the night, you know that when you get out, you got plans, you're gonna go do something, and then you're told 5 minutes before you're leaving, nope, they fucked up on roll call. You're staying for a whole another 8 hours.
That's
That
horrible.
right there will fuck you up. And it's twisted my head up a few times.
I can imagine that.
It
Damn.
sucks.
That's horrible.
That part sucks. And like I said, there's no days off. Like there's no, oh, it's a snow day, you don't have to go in, or it's a holiday, we're closed. No,
No.
it's 24
Yep.
hours a day, 7 days a week. That place is on and popping. There is no
Yep.
days off. Now we have, that's another perk I should say of our job. We get it's 2.25 days every month we accrue, and then we get like it's called PL days, which are personal leave days. So all in all, you start off with like 9 days right off the rip that you can burn whatever. So, but you never want to be that guy to make somebody else stay on a holiday. It's for like
Right.
that is frowned upon as far as staff is concerned, because why would I want to keep somebody else from seeing their family? Like it depends. Doesn't matter whether you're an 8 to 4 shift, 4 to 12, whatever, midnights, whatever. If everybody does their job, everybody does their part and comes in, then everybody goes home and gets to spend some time with their family.
I
But
get
you
it.
get your real dirt bags who think that they're more special than you are and their family is more important than yours, and they call out.
Yeah, that's
But
dirty.
then we deal with them when we see them next time. But so
Yeah, your own way, right? You
oh
deal
yeah,
with them your own
we
way.
find our ways.
Yeah, I met you again. Juror number 6 says, "Do you see the prison system as an institution that works? It certainly brings in a lot of money." I don't know.
Let
That's
me ask you that.
the
Let
question.
me ask you that. What's your opinion?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you think that the majority, not speaking
no.
about a few here and there, do you think as a whole, as a majority, that prisons, because let's be honest, it's about reform, right? Reforming.
Yes.
Is the system set up to reform?
Nope.
In my opinion, no,
No,
no.
I don't think so.
Because when I went to jail, I don't think that that was the right place for me. I think that I would have been the type of person that would have done well in a rehab. That's what I needed. I've never been a repeat offender, and but then there's like two sides to that coin because I went to jail, right? Had I gone to rehab, maybe I would have relapsed over and over and over again. And maybe right now I'd still be in active addiction. But
Mhm.
because I was sent to jail and I was slapped with 2 city years, it scared me straight. It scared me straight. When I was in jail, I did what I had to do. I didn't just sit around. I worked. I was in step. I made the most of my time there.
Good.
And it woke me up that I never wanted jail to be a revolving door for me. There were many women that in my bid came back, would go home, talk about, I'm going to get it together. I have my children. Some women had babies in there because there was the pregnant house and
Mhm.
would have babies in there and go home with their baby and come back. And I'm like, where's your baby? ACS took my kid. So
Wow.
there was a lot of that. And
Yeah.
thankfully, I was never there. So I think it's a hard question, but a lot of people would, if it was more into rehabilitation, if they implemented more programs in the jails and centered it around rehabilitation, I think it could be a tool that can help people because you have to be punished. You commit a crime, you
Glad
have
you said that. I'm glad you said that. So here's my answer. And any
Yeah.
former inmate's not going to like what I'm about to say, but this is a fact. I went to the Bahamas, not even 5 years ago. When I got there and I was taking my Uber from the airport to my hotel, the Uber guy asked me what I did, and I told him, and he said, "Oh shit, there's one officer on the island or two officers on the island." I said, "How is that possible?" Well, there's only
What?
one guy in our jail right now. I said, "How is that possible?" When you find out the living conditions that of their jails, there's a concrete slab, no windows, it's a dirt floor, and
Ooh,
you get rice and bread and water. That's it. So
damn.
people think when you go to jail, it's going to be miserable and you're going to be, I mean, the most miserable part of it is you're away from your loved ones. That I'll
Definitely.
never say
Definitely.
is not a fact. That's a fact. The hardest part is being away from your loved ones.
Yes,
But as far as doing hard time, there is no more hard time.
that's
That's
true.
gone. Those days are over. And until that gets implemented again, we're never going to have jail be a deterrence. It's not a deterrent. It's not hard time. So,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest, there's a lot of inmates who I know who would come back in the wintertime for a warm place to
Yes,
live.
yes.
That is a
What?
fact.
He's
Yes.
telling the truth. There are people that
Yes.
would rather be in jail. You get 3 hots in a cot.
You get rec,
Wow.
you get free electricity, you get free running water, well, you don't
TV,
get a free
everything.
TV, but if you
But you get to
gamble
watch
well, you
TV.
can get a free
Yeah,
TV. But your life, think about it. If you're very, very poor or living on the street, what better place to be than prison?
he's 100% right.
It's
Yeah, I
free.
could see
It's
that.
free.
I get it. Yeah. And you're taken
So,
care of.
100%
Even
right.
the health care, right? Even if it's
yes,
not great
yes.
health care, you
It's
at least
terrible
still have
healthcare, but
something.
it's something. It's something.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's habitual. There's guys that we would see only in the wintertime.
Yep, yep. And I agree. There was women that did the same thing, that had nowhere to go, had burned all their bridges with their family. And in the winter, when it got cold, they would go and commit a stupid crime, shoplift, and with their record, they would end up in jail and they would have a warm place to stay.
Correct.
It happens a lot more often than you think, and I guess you're right. Like in other countries, they have jails where there's so many people in one room. That's jail. That's fucking prison. You know what I mean? But over here, you're right. You get your packages, you get your family sending you stuff. You have commissary. It's too lax in for
Way too lax.
yeah.
Way too lax.
So
And
I
it's
definitely
only getting worse. I mean, you now have tablets. They
yeah.
have
What?
tablets. Yes.
Yes.
Tablets.
Yes.
Yes.
They have
Wow. So they can
tablet.
watch TV and scroll the internet on
And
their tablets. What the
email and I
Email,
mean
yeah.
it's somewhat
Didn't they
restricted.
do away with the old way of mail? Now everything is through email and stuff. I know some jails and prisons
No,
have done
they
that.
have both, but there's more emailing now than there was obviously regular mail because it's
Yeah.
snail mail. It takes forever, you know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
takes
Like
forever.
if you're trying to get a Christmas card in there, you got to send it like before Thanksgiving if you
That's
want to get it for
true.
Christmas.
That's
Just because of
true.
all the processes of having it checked out and by the time it reaches you, it takes forever.
Yes.
But
That's true.
times have certainly changed and
They really have.
I when I saw tablets coming in, I said, "Holy shit, it's time to go. It is fucking time to go."
That's crazy.
wow.
I was in jail 25 years ago. Thank God. Knock on wood. So none of that shit was a thing. That was not
Well,
a
you
thing.
were doing time when time was like for real. Like
Real time.
25 years ago, especially in my prisons, that was real prison. 25 years ago was when we had a major riot at the facility that I worked at last.
Oh
And that
wow.
shit was they burnt that bitch to the ground.
Ooh,
No.
Listen,
I read a
listen,
book about a prison riot. It
at
was
any time we
amazing.
are outnumbered. The inmates
Yes. Yes, you
heavily
are.
heavily outnumber the staff,
Yeah.
so whenever they want and if they plan it and orchestrate it well, you're taking over, period.
Yep.
So
That's
I mean they
scary.
orchestrated it, planned it, and it went to perfection, and they burnt that bitch to the ground.
Oh my God. That's scary because again, you know, as an inmate, right? Even though whatever people be like, I'm innocent. We did some shit. We did some shit. We got caught. Went to jail. Went to prison.
Mhm.
So if you are endangering people's lives, and again, people may not like it that we're in jail. I was, so I'm speaking from my experience. I could never do that. I could never endanger somebody else's life because I'm angry at the situation I put myself in. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like, the fuck?
it's the ones you got to watch out for are the ones that have nothing to lose, like especially where we're at. These guys all have bodies, meaning
So they have football numbers.
they've taken several other lives, so they could care less about
They
a
don't care.
cop's life. See you later with a smile on their face.
Yes, they'd be happy
So
to do it. You're
and
right.
the guys that are not getting out, they know they're doing the rest of their life in prison. What do they have to lose?
What you gonna do to them? Right. That's
Nothing.
Yeah,
scary.
yeah. I read a book. I think it was, oh gosh, I can't even remember because it was so long ago now. But it was a very famous, infamous prison riot. And I think it was in Texas. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was in Texas. And a whole lot of people died. And it was a whole
Yeah.
big deal. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, like that can happen anywhere almost if
Yeah.
people
Oh,
aren't very
absolutely.
careful.
Mhm.
Protocols and stuff aren't followed. Like you don't lock the door, you're not careful enough in any one little thing. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what set this off. And it was basically at the end of it, it was the prisoners who was running it. And they went into like the Chomo region and they killed and beat up a whole lot of them guys. And it was insane. But it was a really good book. I can't even believe I can't think of it right now, but I'm pretty sure it was in Texas or New Mexico. It was
Hmm.
The biggest
incredible.
mistake any officer can make is being complacent. The second you become complacent, you are now putting yourself and others in danger. The
Yep.
second you think, like the second you let an inmate walk behind you instead of making him going in front of you, could be the last day you're here today.
It can.
And I
Never
can't
think
tell
that
you
you're cool with
how
them.
many rookie guys that I would scream at and say, "You're lucky you're still here."
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, out of anybody who ever worked with me, and I've trained so many people, let me be an example. I still think I hold to this day the amount of shanks that I found in one unit. In this one unit, I cleared 30 shanks.
Holy
30.
shit.
So many. They
Wow.
sent me home for the day. They said, "Dude, you did such a good job. You're done for the day. Go home. Take the rest of the day off."
Doing searches and stuff, or that's
Ju- I
crazy.
had a tierman that worked for me. He would clean the
Mhm.
unit. And this dude, I'll be honest with you, for whatever reason, these guys really took a liking to me, and it got to be so embarrassing to where these guys would get out and then immediately try to friend request me on Facebook all the time,
That's funny.
all the fucking
Wow.
time. Too much. But
So
I had a good rapport with this one tierman, and he liked me more than he liked his fellow inmates, and he was my little snitch. He would tell me everything every day. If someone was about to pop off, these two inmates were gonna fight in their cell, or I knew about it ahead of time. Like I had it so good for so long. Unfortunately, when you're like that, they want to keep you in that unit, and I just wanted to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I could
But
imagine. I could
yeah.
imagine.
yeah,
Low key asked
So
the question. I'm sorry, JJ, just because I didn't want to just ignore her question. I don't know if
okay,
you
no. Go.
um
Yep.
that what is the difference between a CO and a police officer? And I think you can answer that
we're
better than
cops inside of a prison. They're
right.
cops outside
That's right.
enforcing rules in a community. We're enforcing rules in a prison. That's the only
Gotcha.
difference. They get to carry guns. We carry cuffs. That's it. We don't get there are no guns. Like that's the one thing any cop or state trooper hates when they come into prison. Because the one thing they got to give up is their gun. Their
Yep, you
gun's
have
got
to
to go
give
in a
your gun up.
locker. And they
Yeah.
walk in there naked, and you can just see them get nervous. It's like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
we do this every day, all day.
For real.
You're
For
in here
real.
for 30 minutes, and your asshole's puckering. It's like, come on,
They're nervous as
come
hell.
on, bro.
It's true because you guys are used to that. They're not used to that. They go into a prison, they're like, they feel naked
Right,
without their gun. You're right.
right.
That's their protection.
So
Um, uh,
Yaya says, Kevin, did you ever establish a true relationship with an inmate who you felt was railroaded by the system? That's a great question.
I've developed relationship. I have one story with that, but I didn't develop a relationship with him. I just when I heard his story, I'll tell that first. So, this one guy, he was an older guy. I think he was in his late 40s, early 50s. He owned a jewelry store. And what happened was is a guy came in to rob him. The person who was robbing him brandished a weapon. He didn't know if he was pulling out a knife or pulling out a gun. Either way, it's a weapon. So
right.
without hesitation, because this guy, I guess he said the way he said it was this guy was acting real nervous, real jittery. He knew this guy was up to, he was so nervous that he knew he was just waiting for the right moment to say, all right, I'm robbing you. He could tell. I mean, he's been robbed before. So he kind of read this particular guy's body language and go, all right, this guy's going to fucking try to rob me. I know he is.
Right.
So he was already on guard, and he had a gun underneath where his desk was, which is completely legal.
Yeah.
However, where I think this guy got fucked is it was a bang bang situation to where this guy's trying to hurt him. So it was a knife, and he tried to jump over the counter to go at him with the knife. When the jewelry store owner grabbed his gun, the guy with the knife said, "Oh fuck no," and turned around. But when he turned around, the jewelry store owner, shot him in the back. If he would have shot him in the chest or anywhere in the front, he would have never done a single day in jail. But
Yes.
because he shot him in the back, it showed that the perpetrator was
He's fleeing.
He was
Yes.
fleeing. So
Yes.
he had a direct route to the door. You impeded him leaving.
Yes.
You are in the wrong.
Yes, because you were
Wow.
no longer in danger at that time when he was fleeing.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what they
Damn.
consider it. So it's like not a stand your ground kind of.
Yeah.
Not in Connecticut.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Kamikaze. Sorry, shit. She's not Kate. Sorry, Kate. Sorry, keep called her her old name. She said, do they put the ones with mental illnesses and with the regular inmates? And I know in New York, in the women's, they didn't. And this is so ironic, and this is so effed up now, of course. But the building was 9/11, and that is where they put all the people with all the women with mental illness, and yeah, they were better off in there. And I used to feed them, and they were outrageous. Would throw feces at you. They were really
Oh
bad.
Lord,
Oh, the
no.
smells are
Really bad.
horrendous in the mental health units. The
Oh,
smells themselves are horrendous.
yes.
Horrendous.
So they
They
had them in
say
the
that
men's
about.
jail too, right? Kevin?
Yes. So the first prison that I started at we called it G block, where it's strictly mental health. The reason
Mhm.
why they're by themselves is they can be in cells. They have to be in cells. They cannot be in a dorm. They cannot be
Right.
out with others. They have to be
Right.
enclosed. When it's
Yes.
time to lock up, they must lock up. You
Yes.
can be celled up with somebody else, but most of the time it's single cell status
Yeah.
only. On a rare occasion, you get a cellie, but that depends on your behavior. But
And your classification too, right?
yeah, yeah, and the type of meds you're taking, all that shit. And
Mhm.
the second prison that I transferred to did not have a mental health wing. We just had segregation, to where if someone started acting like a mental health person, we would just put them in segregation, wait
Yes.
to ship them off over to where I used to work and put them in G block. So it's a whole process, but that's all part of classification.
Yeah, it is. And some people, I know one guy, I don't remember where, but his classification, he should have never had a cell mate. And when they put him with a cellmate, he immediately killed his cellmate.
Mhm.
So it's certain
Oh,
situations. Yeah, and there are people that need to be in a cell because they are a danger to staff, they are a danger to themselves,
Yes,
they are a danger to other inmates. If
yes.
you're free to roam around in a dorm setting, people are most vulnerable
Mhm.
at sleep, and you have an A officer and a B officer. An A officer is in the bubble and the B officer is on the floor, but that's still only one officer to 30 women. There's
Correct.
that's
no way.
crazy.
And I
That's
don't know what the
crazy.
timing was at your facility, but it's usually half-hour tours. So once every half an hour, they walk around and
Yes.
make sure everybody's okay. In
Yep.
those 30 minutes up until the next tour, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
Shawshank Redemption, and build a hole and climb out the wall, and
I don't
all.
know about all of that, but what you building
I
with a plastic fort?
that's
Like what?
that's one of my favorite movies, because Denzel, and Denzel is just so freaking hot. I love him. But I mean, what a great movie it really was. It's an
It was, but
amazing
I don't know about
prison
all of
movie.
that. Alcatraz, I don't think there's no like that takes some
Oh,
dedication and
Alcatraz.
them
I want
searches,
to tour it. I want to
they
tour
search
Alcatraz.
thoroughly.
They do it now. They do
Yeah.
tours of Alcatraz now. And it was like, because Euron Vandersloot, who unalived Natalie Holloway and then
Yes.
went to Peru and
Yes.
unalived the girl there. Well, he's doing what I would, and probably what Kevin would consider, hard time. Like, it's a dirt floor.
Yes.
There's like a hole in the ground where he goes to the bathroom. It's
Mhm.
Good.
barely a bed
Good.
or whatever.
Good.
And to
Good.
me, that is more of time for somebody who commits like the most egregious of
Yes.
crimes. I'm
Absolutely.
not saying white collar, like, oh, you didn't file your taxes or
Right. Like a
something. I'm not
federal
saying
crime.
that. I'm
Those are
saying like
freaking
for people who
resorts.
commit like any crimes against children, or
Yeah. Federal jails are like
unaliving
resorts, man.
people, like that kind of thing, I think is, it's deserving of very hard time. And now, with hearing that they have, even on death row,
Yep.
computers and TVs in their cell. What?
See, death row is a joke now, because what you have happening is you can have a death row inmate, but what you're not having is companies willing to sell the drugs to put them away. Like, not one prison right now, I think, other than Texas, because I think Texas is making their own, but there are, and I think they're now trying to make that a law, that you can't make the same drugs that put down the inmates in the same state. But
Oh
there are
wow.
no companies willing to sell the drugs that administer the lethal injection.
Right.
So you have dozens of, I won't even say dozens, hundreds of inmates on death row that are just serving time in isolation.
Yeah. And they should just um change it to life in prison if it's gonna be that way.
And that's what they're starting to do
Mm-hmm.
slowly with certain ones. Like, there's one particular one, because we still have the death penalty, and when I first started, we put somebody down in my facility, so
Oh
that was a crazy time. But that was the last one they ever did. And there was a young kid who came in at 15 years old. 15 years old, he killed an elderly
Ooh.
couple. And back then, they tried him. Even the crime was so, outrageous that they tried him as an adult at 15 years old. The state law now prohibits that. So if
Yes.
he would have committed that same exact crime now, he would get out. But because he literally went to juvie at 15, and now he was at our facility at the tender age of 18, and all the way up until when I last saw him, he was 48. So the kid doesn't know anything else other than prison.
But jail, right?
That's all he knows. He grew up in prison. And that I think that is something that had to change, because 15, yeah, you have a bearing on morals and whatnot, but you still have a lot of growing up to do. You don't know what that kid has been through growing up. He might, with therapy and other things, maybe medication, whatever, he might have been able to reform himself.
Yeah.
Especially with all that time. But from 15 till death, that's insanity to me.
Yeah. And your brain doesn't develop. Your brain is not developed. Your impulse control, you don't understand the seriousness. Honestly, not to say that it's an excuse, but you can't, you don't, you're more impulsive as a teenager. There's things that I did as a teenager that I could have died. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
so I get that. And I think that's why the Supreme Court is overturning a lot of those life without parole for kids that were convicted as children. And I think that that's important. And they're, reviewing each case and case by case study, and they need to, because not everybody deserves to be in life, without parole.
Right. Here's what I don't understand, right? Why is it that if we're all considered one and we're all considered equal, why is it different from state to state, which would determine an outcome if we both commit the same crime? But because of the different state and jurisdiction that we're in, we could have completely different outcomes of our sentences. How does that make sense?
That's our government.
That's our government.
Where you live versus where I live. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's all political. It's all politics.
It is. And it's like, if we're all considered equal and we're all one, how does that make fucking sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. And
it doesn't.
There was a lot of times where I was like, thank God I don't live in Texas or Florida. You know what I mean? Not going to go and try to harm somebody, but I would think a lot more if I was in Florida and Texas, and you don't want
to commit crimes in California because of the 3-strike law. You don't want to commit crimes in Texas, that for sure, because they have literally a fast lane to the death penalty. Indiana is absolutely horrendous, and so is Arizona.
Yes.
Those 3 states, you do not want to get locked up.
Yeah. I don't want to get locked up at all, but I've always considered that. Yeah. I've always been like, in certain states, like, you're going under the jail. Like, they're not playing any games with you. You know what I mean? And you would think that that would be a deterrent for people, but it's not.
And think about some states that have not decriminalized marijuana yet. Like, you could, like, here in Mass, literally, you could have up to 5 pounds on you. It's a misdemeanor.
Yep.
Try doing that in Florida. See what happens.
Oh, no. In Florida, they finally, agreed, in the last year or two, to medicinal marijuana. So, I mean, we're in no way close to being for recreation.
Right.
So, I mean, that's not even been proposed
a conservative state anyway. Florida is a conservative state.
Very heavy Republicans. Republicans are against it. They're heavily against it.
Yeah. And juror number 6, you're fine. Ask as many questions. I'm sorry I'm behind, guys, but I know I am.
Oh, before we answer that one, Code's question regarding private prisons.
Oh, yes.
I couldn't tell you how much, this, that, and the other. But what I will tell you is you are going to start seeing more private prisons than you are state, because the states are in heavy debt. They can't balance their budgets. Right. They can't pay the salaries that they've been paying, especially the pensions, because what they did is they spent so many pensions, including ours. What's happening is our state spent our pension. So who's paying our pension? The guy still working today. He's paying my pension. It's not what I put into for 20 years. That's been spent by these crooks.
Yep.
So the guy still working is who's paying me.
Oh, same for Social Security. Same
Absolutely.
thing. Social
Absolutely.
Security
How
may
can you
not be
pay
here.
people for so long that technically didn't work long enough or barely worked at all, getting paid Social Security versus somebody who did put in all their lives and yet they have to worry how when's it going to run out? I mean, it's just a messed up system. Very messed up.
I agree. I'm gonna use the restroom, guys. 1 second, okay?
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
I'll be right back. But
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yep.
put
Yep.
juror
Yep.
number 6 question back up. I'll be
All
right
right, so
back.
what do we have here? So, no
Okay.
problem. Have you ever
What's we
been?
got? What's we got?
So, juror
Who's
number
that?
6, that's exactly what retired me, was a physical altercation at work.
Oh
What
wow.
happened
What
was
happened?
I was in charge of all movement on this compound. I was the number one guy on that compound that day as far as running shit. So nobody moved anywhere unless it was on my call. So we have, like Cindy was saying, she was in a dorm atmosphere. We also had dorms. I've worked at 2 different prisons, an all cell prison and an all dorm prison. And where I last worked was dorms. So what you had was 2 buildings. You had building 3 and building 4. Picture a big circle, and you had buildings all around the circle in a big circle. I'm in the middle of that circle. So I'm calling on the radio, building 3 and building 4, get ready to go eat. I don't hear a response from the officers in building 3 and 4. So I call again, building 3 and building 4, get your guys ready. You're next. What I hear is when one of the guys goes to key the radio, chaos. I hear yelling and screaming. So I immediately called the code. Don't know what code, so I just assumed the worst because it sounded like this officer was getting his ass handed to him. So I called what was a code orange, which is inmate on staff. So I rush over there. What we had was the Bloods on one side and the Crips on the other side.
Oh
So you
my
had
God.
30 Crips over here, 30 Bloods over here, and 2 COs, 2 in the middle, trying to make sure these
Wow.
2 don't kill each other. Well, these 2 didn't do a very good job because they all went boom and bum rushed each other. And there were metal poles, there were broomsticks, there were anything they can find to beat each other with. They were doing it. So I started pepper spraying everybody I could. I ran out of pepper spray, and we got pretty decent amount of pepper spray. And if anybody's ever been pepper sprayed, you're coughing, you're wheezing, your eyes are burning so bad it feels like there's 1,000 granules of sand in your eyes. You cannot open it. You will close your eyes.
Oh my God.
So the whole building was filled with pepper spray. Mostly staff is gagging their eyes out and gagging their lungs out and snot dripping down their faces. I'm not taking it too bad because I've been pepper sprayed several times where staff have mistakenly sprayed me, or just because I was on the CERT team. Anytime we had to do a cell extraction, we gas the room up first and then go in and take out what we got to take out. So I've gotten a lot of exposure to gas, and so I still have my bearings. I ended up cuffing 8 people. It was a total of 8 people. I ran out of cuffs because I was grabbing cuffs off people's belts because everybody else is useless. They can't see. They don't know who to cuff, and they don't know who's who. So I look over to my right, and I see one of my lieutenants getting his ass pounded. One of the inmates was on top of him, just beating his skull and just pounding. I literally saw his head bounce off the pavement, and it
Oh
was
my
the guy's
God.
fist pushing it back down. So I ran over to him and put him in a full Nelson because, as Kodo could tell you, I fought my whole childhood. I have a big MMA background, so I tied this guy into a pretzel, basically,
I
got
know
him
you
some
did.
food, handcuffed him, and then guess who's my next guy? A guy that's about 400 pounds, just fat beyond belief. And I don't like to use the word fat, but there's
Right,
no
but
other way to
shit.
describe this guy.
Right.
He was a walking diabetes billboard.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
but what we'll normally do for a guy like that is we'll go 2 handcuffs, sometimes 3, because he's not getting his arms behind his back
There's no
with just
way.
one set.
There's
You
no
know,
way.
it's not comfortable. Even being normal size, it's not comfortable.
It's
So
not.
when you're that big, it's damn near impossible. Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? I got his hands behind his back with one set.
Holy
But
shit.
in doing so, the tendon that attaches, I'll do it over here so you can see, the tendon that attaches from your shoulder to your chest, that
Mm-hmm.
ruptured, that popped, gone. And then the bicep tendon that attaches from your shoulder again to your bicep, that snapped.
Oh, freak.
And the crazy thing is now imagine, in this chaos, there's a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, just a lot of loud noises. Somebody put in their report that they thought they heard a gunshot. It was not a gun. It was my tendons popping.
Oh,
That's how loud it was. You guys know, I did
Oh my
bodybuilding for
God.
years. I did bodybuilding for years. So my tendons were extremely strong, but literally hanging on by a thread. So when they let go, it sounded like a gunshot.
oh my God. They snap. Oh,
Yeah. So 4 surgeries later, as I was still employed, I have had failed surgery after failed surgery. None of them will stand. Like once one tendon goes, it's hardly, very rarely that it will take, especially with my body structure. I had very, very little body fat and my tendons were very, very thin. So when they put a cadaver tendon in there, it just wouldn't stick. So I had 4 tries, 4 major surgeries. They all failed. And yet I'm still going for number 5 in probably 2 months.
no.
Oh,
So,
it's
wait.
torn right now as we speak. So as I sit here, it's still torn. My bicep and my chest is both torn
Oh my God. So you're in pain all the time then?
all the time. Yeah. And
That's
I still work out
Right.
because I have mental problems and I can't stop working out.
no disrespect, but yeah, what the fuck? Like,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to let go what
Exactly.
you've worked so hard to get.
I
It's
know,
very hard.
but I don't
It's just,
think you're
it's
gonna
for
turn
me.
to flab if you
For
chill
me,
for a few
for
months.
me though, it's my therapy. So if I don't go to the gym and work out, I'm gonna take it out on somebody else.
I
So
get it.
it's better that I go to the gym.
I get it. My therapy is these right here.
What is your therapy, Sin?
Gummies, not weed gummies. I listen. I don't
Well,
mess
hey,
with that.
whatever
Oh,
works.
But yeah, I can't because I'll get paranoid and I'm probably afraid. I've been in recovery so long, I'll probably die. So I don't mess with it. But listen, I don't knock it. Do it. Do what you want. But I understand. I understand that is therapeutic for you. Working out. But just be careful. You don't want to injure yourself where you it's beyond repair. Like right now, like you have to get another surgery. You don't want to harm yourself where you lose, God forbid, use of your arm or something. You know what I mean? Because you push
Yeah.
yourself too far. So I would just say that I understand, that it's
yeah.
therapeutic for you, but don't injure yourself too
No, I
much.
know, and no, and just with older age and everything else, I don't lift anywhere near as intense and as heavy as I used to.
Yeah.
I work out a lot smarter, not only because it's smarter, but I don't have a choice anymore because of these injuries. I can't, like, what am I gonna do? Go do squats and now mess up my knees, or
Yeah,
God
I get
forbid
it.
do deadlifts and blow out my back. No, I got enough problems.
Yeah,
I'll just keep it where I have it.
I get it. I get it because I have back pain. I have chronic back pain. So I can't
It's
even.
terrible.
Yeah, I use those resistance bands. I like those. I'm a lightweight. Listen, ain't no doing all that shit. Imagine me getting brolic with this neck. It would not be cute. It would not. It would not be cute. It
But
would
that
not
but
be cute.
that you know what
My
though?
neck will be the strongest thing on me. That is not attractive. So no, no,
It's
thank you.
it's but that's the biggest misconception so many people have. They're like, "Oh, I can't go to the gym and work out. I don't want to get too big." You know how hard it is to actually build muscle?
It
It's
is very.
Very.
extremely hard. So
It is.
Hmm.
don't let that be your deterrent.
No,
But
I do.
listen,
I just
if
don't do too much. But yeah, you're right.
honestly, like,
This is
if
very hard.
if I didn't get into the things that I got into, which was the sport of bodybuilding, whatever, I would probably be mentally okay with just doing body weight stuff and probably would have never had this problem. But
Right.
it's like something I can't let go. It just
I get
let
it.
me just say, it's how hard, everybody knows how hard it is to just eat properly every day, right? Well,
Yeah.
it's a whole nother level to maintain abs 24/7. So
Mm-hmm.
I cannot let that go. I just can't mentally. I can't.
I
I
get it.
can't even imagine because it is so difficult. One of my very, very good friends owns a gym, and he has trainers that come in, and it's crazy, like the diet that they have to be on, and like they're so regimen, and the meal prep and everything with the steak and the chicken and just certain vegetables. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not living a life where you can go out and have a beer and have a little piece of bread, or it's basically a no. It is dedication to the
I haven't had a
max.
drink in probably 20 years.
Wow,
Wow,
Mm.
that's
holy
pretty
hell.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
had
not
a
a big
drink
drinker
since
either.
It
Sunday.
it
I'm
hurts me. It
Sunday.
it hurts me so much more than it would the regular person, 'cause I just don't have the fat to basically help me with that. There's no recovery. Like I feel it immediately, and it just
Oh
makes
my
me feel like
God.
trash.
And you
Can't
must
do it.
get the worst hangover. Oh, that's a
Worst
terrible
cramps, like the
feeling.
worst stomach cramps you can imagine.
Yeah, don't do
It's
it. Don't do
awful.
it. Don't do it to yourself. That's a
Mm.
good thing, and then that's a bad thing, right? Because you're healthy like a mofo. Like shit. No body fat. Lord of mercy. Come on,
Well, the
man.
worst part is when you're hanging around your friends and they're out and they're like, dude, just have this or just have that, just have one. You
Yeah.
don't know what I have to go through when I have that just one.
That's true.
So trust me.
True. That's just like it's not a fair comparison, but somebody with an
Mm.
ED, right? When people are like, just eat a sandwich, like it's that simple, and it isn't that simple.
No, it is
So
a fair comparison because it is basically,
yeah,
no offense, Kevin, but it's true, it is an
chronic.
OCD, like a mental illness issue
It
where
is. It's
you
definitely an
feel
OCD.
you have to do it. You have to. And it is, if you don't, you feel incomplete. You can't sleep. You can't,
Oh,
think
absolutely.
of
It's
anything else until you get, because I once went to the gym 3 years in a row, and I was there every morning at 5 o'clock and would work out until 7. I was
Mhm.
obsessed. And if every day, 7 days a week, and if I didn't do it, I felt like, oh my God, I'm such a slob right now. Like I'm the worst. And
Yeah.
it was horrible, horrible. And thank God, going through therapy and stuff really helped me with that. So,
good.
it is. So I feel I know what you're saying, Kevin, because it's something that you can't help, and you want to do it, otherwise you feel like you're not enough, or like you failed somehow. But yet, I mean, is it really? No. If you skip a few days at the gym, you're going to live.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
And I've gotten much better with that. I now have a dedicated cheat day, but it's a smart cheat day. It's not like
So
going
what would you
going
have on a smart cheat day?
It depends what I'm really in the mood for, but what's actually good for your metabolism when
Hmm.
you're so clean, you have to reset your metabolism. Because like anything else, everything plateaus out, right? Your body
Yes.
gets used to it and you
Yep.
plateau. You know
Yep.
how many people say, "Oh my God, I
Even with
lost."
keto, you know what
Right.
I mean?
Well, what does everybody say in the beginning, the first month? Oh my God, I lost all this weight in the beginning, but now I'm
Yep.
stuck. I can't break this. It's because
Yes.
you gotta break the habit, reset shit, go eat like garbage, just a couple meals and watch what happens the next day. You'll lose weight.
Mm.
But the other
Yeah.
misconception,
Yeah.
so many people have is eat less, don't eat, starve yourself.
Yeah,
No,
no, that doesn't
eat
work.
Mm-mm.
more, have
Yes.
more meals
Yeah.
throughout the day,
Yes.
and watch the weight come off. You
Yes.
got to
Stop
keep that
eating three
metabolism
meals or two
firing.
meals. Eat 6 meals, right, Kevin? Like
Yes.
that. Like,
Yes.
but starving yourself,
Yes.
because then your body
You're
turns
throwing
into
your
fat.
body into starvation mode and it
Yes.
stores it all. So it's the
Yes.
worst thing you can do.
Yes. It's the worst
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna
I
you're gonna make
call
fat
my
stubborn, and you're never gonna be able to get rid of it. You're right.
Correct. Correct.
myself like a cow or a goat because I graze all day long. Like I don't like big meals, but I like to pick at things
I cannot with her. I
all
swear to God.
day. That is my life. Like, okay, I can pick at this, I pick
A
at
cow.
that,
She's the
but
opposite of a cow, mind you. Like she's so thin, but you call yourself a cow because you
Hey,
graze.
if
It's
she's probably
hilarious.
got the metabolism that she can get away with it.
She
God bless
does.
her.
well,
She
and
does,
that's
right?
only because I graze all day long. I don't like big meals, I like my sweets, but it not like constantly. I guess I don't know. I'm very lucky that my brain thinks that way, but in
But
another
you're
way,
also
not
very
so
lucky.
lucky.
You're also very lucky because of your thyroid and your metabolism. It's helping. Trust me. That's
I
helping. How
hope
old are you now?
so. 43.
Yeah,
I'll be
it's
44 in May.
you have a very
I'm
good
old.
metabolism.
I'm getting
She
old.
does.
Oh
She
my
does. She's
God, I'm
very,
getting
very lucky that
old.
way. And it's hard for somebody that was like 100 pounds their whole life. Then you gain all this weight because your metabolism slows down. Like
Well, I'm
Marlene
the same
said.
way as her. It takes me so much to gain weight and get big. It takes me a lot.
Wow, does it?
Yeah, I got to eat like a freaking horse. Yeah.
And that used to be
Wow.
my issue too. I used to be like, oh, I want to gain weight. I want to gain weight. And my family used to be like, girl, be careful what you wish for.
Mhm.
Yeah, you dumbass. Now I'm like, shit, shut your ass up, Cindy. Hi, everybody that came in. I'm sorry. Hi, Miss Manda, Jenny Lee, Joe being Joe. Stephen, I don't know if you guys answered this. Did you answer this question when I was gone? Probably. She said, are
Uh,
they training COs what to do in case of overdose? They definitely should. I'm not sure.
yes, they do. Yes. But I hear this new thing coming out now that it doesn't even help I can't think of the word.
The Narcan?
Yeah, Narcan's not helping for this new drug now.
Mm-hmm.
It's stronger, more potent than fentanyl, and Narcan doesn't touch it.
Wow.
If anybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about, put it in
Yeah,
there
I know what
because
you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it
it's
either. Hi,
stronger.
education. Yeah, I can't. Somebody
Not the
probably knows.
fentanyl?
It's
Not the
No,
stronger
it's
than
fentanyl?
stronger
fentanyl.
than
It's
that.
stronger.
What?
They're throwing it at
Stronger than
cops right now, and cops are dropping dead where
What?
they stand. Yes. Yes.
wow.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Yep.
That's scary. That's scary.
Very
That's
scary.
like
It's
this drug.
I'm
Like
petrified for our kids. Petrified.
what was it called? The crocodile. There was something that you just
Crocodile, yeah,
right.
crocodilly, they
That
called
was
it
scary
crocodile
too.
or whatever, like where they ingest it and it's like gasoline and all these different things, and you see it like your body turns into basically scales, like
Ugh.
everything, like your skin, everything starts to
Right.
become almost like you're a crocodile. That's what it does to you. It's
And it puts
gross.
you
It
in a
rots
zombie
you.
state. It puts you in a zombie
Right,
state
right.
and
It
Crazy.
rots you from the inside out.
yeah.
It's disgusting.
The biggest thing that was messing a lot of them up in there was K2 when I left. K2 was
Yes.
heavy, and dudes
Yes.
were ODing on
Yes.
K2 left
Yes.
and right.
We're in New York too, 12 at one time.
And they're
12.
on another planet.
They are.
I've oh my God. Huh.
I don't know how to
It's
say that.
synthetic
I don't know how to
marijuana,
say
and
what Yaya just said, but
it's on a I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it.
yeah.
I really don't.
Xylene, xylazine,
I've never
xylazine.
Xylazine,
I don't even know
xylazine.
what it is. I haven't heard the word, so I can't even tell you. I just heard there's
I'm
something
gonna look
out
it up
there.
though, because that's something I should definitely know. Hi,
Yeah.
Javiet. How are you, sweetie? But that's something that I should definitely know, especially with my background. And I haven't heard of it. So, I mean, I have heard of it, but I don't remember the name. So, what's the difference between going to school to be a police officer or being a correction officer? I think that it right.
The first of all, we don't train with we don't do any firearms training, but we do the same
You do.
arresting
Sorry.
techniques. We do the same, handcuffing techniques. We do all that. We just don't do firearm training, and we don't learn the statutes. We don't have to learn any state statutes.
Oh, you don't because you're working inside the prisons,
And
right?
they don't, and you know how it is. You get stripped of your rights. You have little, certain things you have entitlements to, but the majority of your rights are gone.
Your
So we don't have to
property,
worry about it.
your state property, your city property,
Correct.
your property,
Correct.
right?
And
So
I got
you forego those majority of your rights because you are now incarcerated.
yeah.
so I have a question, and it's an important one, and one I always wondered, and I love to watch the prison shows. I love it,
Mhm.
like Locked Up and all these
Yeah,
different ones. You know,
people
the
always ask me if I
worst
watch that, and I can't.
prisons.
I can't do it.
I don't watch it either. I just
It's like
It's
being at
I
think
work.
it's
do.
I just can't
all
do it.
fake and it's all like scripted in my opinion. like 60 days in, I think that's all just scripted and all
Oh
fake.
my God.
Right.
I watched
That's
one
different,
episode
yeah.
and I said, there's no way
Yeah, there's no.
that any prison in this country would let that occur. Like
Yeah.
knowing that you have a participant who's a
Yes.
citizen, a regular citizen,
A civilian, right? Yeah, no, there's no way.
go and start dealing drugs. That guy would have got pulled immediately. So I'm not feeling. See you later
Yep.
with that.
And you're gonna
I'm all
let them
set.
have physical fights with inmates and all this stuff. Are you crazy? The
You're-
liability, there's no
and
way. There's
and
no way.
unsentenced. When you're dealing
Yeah.
with unsentenced, you could have a plethora of people. You could have a guy
Yeah.
who has bodies over here,
Yep.
a guy who's only in there for DUI,
Yep.
and then you could have another guy who's in there for drugs. I mean,
Yep.
it's you could have anybody in there. So there's
Yep.
no
You
way
can
they're
have
putting
people in
people.
there that just had a warrant for a traffic violation that never took care of it in with these hardened as criminals.
Correct.
There's no way. There's no way.
Correct.
That's it's insane. It's insane.
BS.
So what I was wondering watching these shows, what it didn't answer is like when they do the laundry, do they put like your underwear with other people and they wash it and then you just get a size underwear so
Ew,
other
you don't
people
get
could be
no.
wearing it?
Once you
You
get your
get a
underwear, you have to
laundry.
wash it.
You get a laundry bag. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your initials are on all your laundry, first of all.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
They're not
And
doing
then-
your laundry for you.
You get
Thank
a
you,
nylon net. You get a nylon net that has a bunch of holes in it. It's just a nylon net with your laundry in it. You tie that up, you send it with the laundry guys, and that gets washed together. It doesn't come out and you get separate. No, it all gets washed together and dried together. Doesn't even come out of the
It
sack.
gets washed in that. Okay, so I don't know about him. See, that's why it's different. Because I know with us, they didn't give you underwears and all that shit. They didn't give you that. You had to get that
Oh,
yourself. If you
no,
didn't come in with that,
They
you're not
do
gonna-
that with us. They get all that. We literally were the facility that made them. That we had a whole industries
Wow.
section. We made state license plates. We made temporary plates. We made mattresses. We made underwear, t-shirts, all that shit. That was a
That's
job an
crazy.
inmate could earn to do and learn a trade, and that's what they made. It
Yeah,
was all
see?
inmate made clothing.
But he's
So, but-
right too. But JJ, because in state prison it's different. Remember, I was in
Very different.
Okay.
Rikers.
Yeah, if you're
so
in county, nah, you
not getting
basically get
that.
to keep your own shit. You get to
You're
keep
stuck
your
with
own
what you
underwear.
got unless somebody sends you, your family sends you some drawers.
Yes.
You know, you ask them to
So
send you.
so my family could send me like some Victoria's Secret panties and I could
No,
wear
it has
them?
to be
You don't-
plain
no,
white
you don't wanna do
granny
that.
panties.
You don't want to do that.
I gotta wear
Yeah.
granny panties?
You
Yes.
better want to wear granny panties,
Exactly. Who
or
you
you're
gonna
you're gonna get taken every night. Yeah, you want to do that.
You're
Trust
gonna
me.
be my bitch. Like, you
Yes,
don't want
yes.
that.
Cindy's gonna own you for
For
your whole bid.
real. I'm gonna have you
Trust me.
washing my drawers and my
As
socks.
long as
like
it's
that
Cindy,
happens.
I'm fine. But anybody else, they ain't touching it. No. I need to have my own. So other people could be wearing the panties that I wore.
If they want, they'll just take them.
They'll take them from
What
you.
the
Yeah.
fuck? Oh, I can't be doing prison. Nope, I can't be
That's
doing
what I
it.
was telling you. I only had one fight when I got there, right? Because I had this pierced. I no longer have it. I just feel like I'm too old to have an earring there, whatever. So, but I had the piercing because I was in my 20s. And I remember I was in the shower, and I guess before in the day room, the girl was like, "Oh, I like your jewelry." And I was like, "Thank you." Paid her no mind. And I go into the shower, and she comes in the shower, and she's like, "I said I like your jewelry. Like, I want it." And I'm like, she's like, "Give it to me." So I see she's like a big girl. I'm like, okay, this, So I'm like, all right, relax. You ain't gotta get all crazy. So I take the jewelry out and I'm in the shower and I throw it down the drain. And I'm like, we gonna fight anyway. Like, I was gonna have to fight you regardless, but it's
Right.
gonna be worse if I just gave you my jewelry, because now every time you want something from me, you're gonna come and everybody else. I'm gonna be the bitch of the fucking unit, and everybody,
Yeah.
whatever they want from me, they're gonna take from me.
And the first thing you do when you get in there, everybody tries you. They want to see if you're going to put up a fight or are you just going to give it up. And the
Yep.
worst thing you could do, so listen up, everybody. And I'm sure there's mostly women in here, but,
Yes.
and this applies to women too, applies to women and men. If you ever get locked up never ever just give in. You better
No.
fight if you
Yeah.
have to. Because if the second you say, sure, no problem, here you go. I own your commissary. I own your drawers. I own your
Yep.
TV. I
Yep.
own your
Wow.
CD player. I own
Everything.
anything and everything I want from you. That's mine.
And probably your body too,
And
because it's
that
not
booty.
only men's
And that
jail
booty.
where violation happens. In the women's jail, women get violated a lot. It happens. If you're weak and somebody wants it, they're gonna, they'll, like I said, I knew women that had other women washing their drawers, their socks,
Hmm.
washing their clothes, because we didn't have that. We didn't have laundry. You did your own laundry. So they would have you washing their stuff. They would have you pleasuring them however they felt like it.
Right.
You had to stand your ground. And because I fought that one person, and I was good after that. I didn't
Right.
have to fight. I never had any problems. Nobody messed with me. I wasn't a troublemaker. I wasn't in people's shit. I knew you don't beg, you don't borrow. You don't beg and you don't borrow in jail.
Yeah.
You see yourself. If you can't afford it, you don't need it. Don't
And
say, "Oh, I'll
don't
give you back."
gamble. Do not
Yeah,
gamble.
don't gamble. Yes.
Don't gamble because if you have to pay, it's just like the street. There's a vig and you got to pay. And if you don't pay on time, same
It's a wrap.
consequences on the outside as they are on the inside.
Yes.
Your only way out of doing any of that is if you have plenty of money on the books and you can pay for protection. But that is a constant thing you're going to be paying for. So
You're
you
gonna
better be
be. You're
able
gonna be
you
calling your wife
you
or
better
your
be able
husband
to
all the
afford it.
time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Wow.
they'll tell you, and then I've seen that too, where you have to call your mother or your
Yeah.
spouse, like, yeah, you need to put money on such and such's books, and they're standing right over you, like, give her my book and case number, and that happens. You can't allow that.
How
You have to fight
now
for your.
answer me this. I don't know if it's the same in the women's, but
Mhm.
these guys locked up have sugar mamas is what like to call it,
Yeah.
where that they have 6 or 7 different women. Well, that's all they do. They talk to each one individually, make each every one of them think that they're the only one.
Yep.
Mainly these women, aren't as, light on the eyes as
Hmm.
some people
I
might
get
think.
it. I get
And
it.
they get suckered. And unfortunately, when I see that happening, I'm a snitch. I tell them when they come in, everybody listen,
Yeah.
do yourself a favor, stop.
Hmm.
Because I'm promising you, I heard homeboy on the phone with 3 other women right
That's right.
after you. Save your fucking money. Stop
Yeah.
giving it to this
Yes.
loser.
Wow.
This
Yep.
Good for
loser.
you,
'Cause
though. Good for you
if
being
I'm
a
okay
snitch.
with seeing that and seeing somebody get taken advantage of, I'm a scumbag if I don't say something.
Right.
Because
And
I'm
I
not
don't,
down with
You're
I
that.
don't
right.
think that
You're
you're a
right.
snitch. You don't live by that code. You know what I mean? And I think that that's important. And the same thing, you wouldn't believe it does happen with the women as
Well,
well.
because some of these women, I actually when I come in and I see them, I'm like, I feel bad for them. I'm like, this loser is taking advantage of this poor woman, especially, and I can't stand this. I see this way too often. That woman who has no ties to that man brings her kids in, and if I see kids, automatically I'm snitching. I'm
Yeah.
snitching.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yes. You're subjecting your kids to that. I've seen
Yeah,
that a lot
fuck
too.
that.
Seen
And
that
you're
a lot.
bringing them in to see some scumbag in prison? Come
Yeah.
on.
I think that that's ridiculous, and again, that happens a lot. You'll be surprised how many women um will see, like, even high profile, right, guys, the worst of the worst, like Richard Ramirez. Oh my God, come on, the
Oh,
Night
yes,
Stalker.
the
That it
Night
was
Stalker. Yep.
his
He's
victims said he had the most horrendous breath. His hygiene was disgusting, and women were sending him love letters and falling in love with this man that has the worst breath and the worst, like, what? But they're attracted to that craziness. Like, you don't, serial killers get all these
All the
women
time. Mhm.
insane. Like, what? Why would you marry somebody that's in there for life? You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not like you knew him before he got incarcerated. They become enamored with these men that have done these horrendous things that are never coming out, and now they marry them, and then now they're trying to fight for them to get clemency. Like, it ain't gonna happen, miss. What the hell? Why you couldn't find a dude in the streets? Like, I just think that is the weirdest thing ever in this life. But juror number 6 asked the question, and juror number 6, yes, they do give you medical. You do have You do have the ability to see doctors, therapists, psychiatrists. You get medication, all of that.
God
That
bless
is
them.
a fundamental right of yours, like to get medical
Yeah,
care.
it is a right. It is a
Yeah.
right. But I can tell you, I've seen guys go for routine dentist checkups, and next thing you know, they're missing teeth.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna pull every tooth.
It's horrendous.
They're gonna pull every tooth. Yep.
The
Oh my
medical,
God.
yeah, the
Yes.
medical treatment that these guys get is horrendous.
It is.
And I'll tell you, I don't know what it is, but I see more guys that have done serious time locked up get cancer than anybody else.
Yeah.
There's something in that water. I'm telling you.
He's
I
right.
don't get it.
He's right.
I
And
don't
and
get
it's
it.
true. They do. Like, think about it. You go to a dentist in jail. Do you think they're gonna try to save your teeth?
Fuck no.
They're pulling all
No,
those
of
mother
course not.
effers. And you know what they do? They give you dentures and you have your serial number. My mother, may she rest in peace. My mother was did a lot of time in prison. And my mother came home with dentures with her freaking booking case number on the back of the teeth. I was like, get rid of them shits. Like, she was wearing them.
That's funny.
That is bad luck. You're supposed to burn everything. Like, what are you doing with
Yeah.
them damn teeth, lady? Like, she was the funniest lady.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh my God. Oh, I think, where was it? I saw a question.
Thank you, Stormy. I appreciate you.
Oh, so Kevin,
Mhm.
what do you think of the show, if you've watched it, Love After Lockup?
I couldn't tell you a single episode. I've never watched it.
You have it.
It's-
You're not
No.
missing much.
No, it's completely insane. You're not missing much.
I'm glad I'm not missing much.
It's
But
there's
no,
a lot.
unfortunately, I have not watched it. I have a hard time watching shows like that.
Well,
Yeah, me
there's
too. Never been
people
into
that actually actively look, people on the outside look for people on the inside, like meet an inmate. I mean, what is
Mhm.
it like? Farmers, whatever, eHarmony, I don't know, but for inmates, and they meet people
Like
and
pen
they get
pals,
married.
like pen pals.
Yeah, like pen pals on
Mhm.
email, and you know, these women or these men are actively searching for
Oh,
someone
I've
that is in prison.
I see it. So I don't even have to watch the show because I've seen the show in real life. I've seen that plenty of times.
Right.
All right, Loki, I'll give you a real good one. You ready for this?
Yes.
This is a doozy. This
Thank
is
you,
going to be hard
Wanda.
to this is going to be hard to grasp. Okay? So when
Mhm.
people try to understand why we get the pay that we get and the benefits we get, it's for this right here.
Okay.
Because just remember why you guys on the outside don't have to deal with this. So try to follow me here.
Okay.
You have a daycare owner. Okay. This guy is approximately late 50s, early 60s. Doesn't matter his color. I'm not even going to go there.
Right.
He molested his daughter, got his daughter pregnant. Okay. She has the child. To make matters worse, he molested his granddaughter. Okay. Proven.
He molested his
So he molested his
daughter. That is also his daughter. His granddaughter is also his
He
daughter.
molested his daughter, who then had his daughter, technically.
Which is his granddaughter too.
So his daughter's daughter, which is his daughter, and then when she was at the tender age of 4, he had sex with her. Okay? Found his semen inside of the 4-year-old. That was in the medical report. So, now, majority of the time, these guys are isolated somewhat. They're all pretty much together. So all of the 60-plus-year-old guys who are in there for the majority of sex crimes are all in one unit. This one particular guy, the same guy we're talking about, wanted to be a janitor. Well, he got the job. And when he was mopping in the hall one late evening, one of these other guys who knew exactly what he did. Matter of fact, it was so close to this one particular guy that his child went to that same daycare. So he knew this story very well. So when the coast was clear and they left the door pinned. What that means is when the doors are locked, they'll stick a piece of cardboard, whatever,
Mhm.
so that pin that goes in and locks the door normally, that's jammed, so the
Yes.
door's not locked. And they knew that this guy comes and mops around 9:30. So when they seen him at 9:30, they grabbed him, snatched him into the unit, took his broomstick handle, shoved it
Mm.
so far up his ass.
Oh,
His internal organs were ruined so bad. Just so you know, everybody, they should be happy and smiling at this, that this guy has a permanent colostomy bag for the rest
good,
of his life.
good. Sorry. Be mad
And
at me all you want.
and
Sorry.
and he
Good,
lost all of his teeth.
good,
Every one of them was pulled and yanked out of his mouth.
good. He's lucky he didn't become a eunuch.
Correct. So
What did you do
that
during
is
your
probably the bloodiest, because it was a fucking bloody mess. This guy
I could
had it
imagine. Holy shit.
pouring out of his backside. I mean, they ruptured his prostate, they ruptured his colon so far up to where they hit, I think, his lower intestines somehow and ruptured that. It was a fucking mess. But the nastiest thing I've seen was one of these mental health inmates. I don't think I have one right here, but he took a pencil and it was calling me by name. He's like, Kev, I want to show you something. And he took a pencil and he shoved it right in the corner of his eye, right here. He went right in this way, all the way in to where it was just the eraser tip sticking out. And he was sitting there having a conversation with me. Then he took another pencil and did it in the other eye. All while standing there and talking to me like nothing happened.
That's insane. Yikes.
You know? And then probably the nastiest thing I've ever seen is a guy who also was in what we called Hospital 2, is when the mental health guys lose their shit and they have to be basically in what's called a Ferguson gown, where they're not even safe enough to wear clothing. They're just in a gown that drapes over them, no shoelaces, nothing can be in their cell. And he covered himself in his own feces from head to toe, took one of them out of the toilet and bit it off like a Snickers bar in front of us. So, like I said, we earn our pay from time to time.
Yeah, I could
So,
imagine.
just be happy that they're on the inside, not on the outside.
Exactly. That's crazy. That's
But yeah, that daycare worker though, I'll never ever forget that. Never.
yeah, that's
Just
horrible.
hearing, and I'll be honest with you, he told me exactly what he did, because I had to. So that was the other story I was going to get to. When he came up for the parole board, I had to sit there and listen and be a witness to it. And he was so cordial and just nonchalant about how he had sex with the two
Like
of them.
matter of fact, right?
Just like it was,
Disgusting.
something normally what normal people do. And he said, they asked him, if do you think you would do this again? He said, absolutely, I would.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So he had no remorse.
No remorse.
Nothing.
No remorse. And let me tell you something, especially you ladies, do not take your personal safety for granted. Don't get complacent. If you can get a firearm, get your fucking license. At the very minimum, go get pepper spray. Have something on you, because I promise you, there's an evil out there that it's there. Trust me, it's in your town. You just haven't seen it yet.
True. You haven't come across it. And I live in
They're
New
there.
York,
There's-
so I know.
If you knew how many
Very.
inmates were just in, my particular town or my state, we're talking thousands in just one prison. In my prison alone, we had 1,800 inmates. That's just one prison. And in my area, there's 7 prisons in a square mile. So
Wow.
think about that, 1,800 times 6. And that's just one jurisdiction. That's just northern Connecticut.
Right.
I'm not talking middle Connecticut, and I'm not talking southern Connecticut, and that's in every state. So trust me, there are monsters out there. Do not get complacent.
Yeah, that's crazy. Juror number 6 says, have you ever come across someone that was not guilty? She says,
I
I know
don't.
they all
I don't
was not
because
guilty and vindicated. Okay.
I don't get into whether guilty, not guilty. I don't get into what they did or didn't do. I don't ask. If they tell me, cool, but we don't get into whether, because listen, my job is not to punish them. It's not to judge them. They went in front of a judge who did that for them. If they're not guilty, then that's what the system's for, and they have a right to an appeal. So I don't get into all that. You're here, I'm here. Let's do what we have to do right now, and just whatever we can do to make our time the easiest time possible, let's do
Yeah,
that.
that's right. And I think that that's, you want everybody who needs to go home, right? Because when you
Yes.
think about it, when you're in jail, especially like you said, lifers or people that are looking, have football numbers, they really could care less. And some of them are so institutionalized that they'd rather stay in prison. Some of them keep committing crimes because they don't care. They don't want to go back out into the street. The idea of having to go back into the street if they've been incarcerated 16, 18, 20 years is so terrifying to them that they'd rather stick with what they know. Being institutionalized is a real thing. Coming out into the world and not knowing how to deal with the world is a real thing, and it's terrifying. So they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to
No.
lose.
So, like I said, that 15-year-old that came in at 15 and now he's in his late 40s, do you think he knows anything other than prison? He,
No.
No.
I had to drive him to medical one time, which was an outside hospital. He had no idea what McDonald's was. No idea what that was. No, I think we went by an Arby's at the
Wow.
time. He's never heard of an Arby's. Like, in cell phones right now is like wizardry. Like Google,
Yeah.
he's like, oh my God. He still hopes and plans one day that he will get out. And I hope he does too.
Yeah.
But he's just I mean, he honestly is probably one of the best and easiest inmates to deal with. And what happens is this one particular prison I was at, you have all the lifers on this top tier.
Hmm.
And when I ran that unit, I allowed all of them on the top tier to leave their cell doors open my entire shift. Don't have to close them as long as I'm here. Why? Because they were always the most polite. They never ever questioned me when I asked them to do something. They
Right.
never ever gave me a hard time. And they were the most neatest, cleanest inmates I have ever seen, because they
Oh,
know
wow.
they're not getting out. They're not slobs. They're not punks. They're not like these 18-year-olds
Right.
trying to make a name for themselves in some
Yeah.
gang, and they need to give me a hard time all day. No, they want to do their time as easy and as low key as possible. No pun intended, low key.
Right.
And just,
Right.
you know, and just I mean, I'll take lifers who have multiple bodies all day long over some 18-year-old gangbanger punk all day.
Right.
Wow.
Definitely.
Wow. Wow. That says a lot. It really, really does. That
Yeah.
that
So
says a lot.
especially like if you ever go for a visit or you go on a tour, don't be afraid of the lifers. Those are the easiest ones to deal with. Trust me.
Yeah. Juror number 6 says, is there a high turnover rate of COs?
Yes.
I wouldn't.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. There is that. It's
It's not
the
for
same
everybody.
way in Florida. Yeah, it's the same way in Florida. My daughter's godfather is a CO right now, in a county, and he tells me all kinds of stories, and I'm always amazed. But there's a very there his coworkers. It's almost like he gets used to them for a year or two, and then they're gone. Like they
Right.
leave. They can't hack it. They can't take it. Whatever. And
Right.
that sucks. That sucks because it's got to weigh on you. When my son was in the police academy and they made the parents or someone, it had to be at least one person extremely close to you, like the person that you would put as next to kin or whatever. And I
Right.
went there and they basically said, you know, once your son or husband or brother, sister, whomever graduates and is like goes into the police force, whatever
Mhm.
county or city, they will never be the same. They'll
Look
never
at
be the same person that you knew before. And it's the same way with COs.
Google it right now. What is the highest divorce rate out of any occupation?
Oh, wow.
COs are number one.
Ex-police.
COs are number one. Police are number
Really?
Yeah.
two.
That's because
Yes.
it's stress,
Yes.
right? It's the
Yeah,
stress.
Yes.
it's a fact.
Yep.
It's a fact.
Yeah, it's the stress and the things that you see and the things that you hear, it changes you. And they
It
said
it
that
it,
long
it,
they
cha- it,
hours too.
it
The long
changed
hours.
me for life. Like
Yep.
anytime I go into a restaurant, anytime I go to the movies, whatever, I'm always with my back facing an entrance. I'll never have my back exposed. If I go to the movies, I'm always at the top so I can see everybody in front of me. It changed me forever.
It's a form
Wow,
of
my
Absolutely.
son
PTSD,
told me
kind
that
of, right?
too.
What's that?
Is it a form of PTSD, sort of like
Um,
not debilitating, but it's shaped who you've become outside of your job?
I just
Well,
think it
that and
formed
habit.
it formed habits that most normal people don't have, but based
Mhm.
upon my environment every day, it
Mhm.
formed these habits. So yes. But it also made me, especially with having a 10-year-old daughter and hearing some of these disgusting,
Yes.
gruesome crimes, it
And
made
Gemini.
me to where I promise you, I hate to be the boyfriend she ever gets one day. I hate to be him. I really do.
I could imagine. I could
The
imagine.
poor bastard. That's all I can say.
Poor bastard, right? He's gonna have to. Oof! Oh my God! I can imagine.
Yeah,
So,
I
does
get
anybody have
it.
any last questions before I get out of here? Because
Yeah, we're about
I
to
gotta get
end. Been here
rolling.
Yeah,
for a long
yeah.
time.
We're gonna
Anybody?
into we
Any
gotta
last questions? Get it now. Get it now.
no, but once Kevin goes, we can announce the new members.
Oh yes. Oh yes. When Kevin is done, I will
We'll do
yes
that.
members, and I have to make the giveaway announcement. I'm extending it one more week, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Any
Okay.
questions for
So,
Kevin?
Miss, so
Yes.
I wanna comment on this one here
Yeah, please.
from Missy. So I'm not gonna speak on your son and his fiance, but what I will say is God bless them, because if
Yeah.
your son's working in a male facility and his fiance is as well, she's going to get so much attention from every single guy in there that it's going to put your son, unfortunately, in a very uncomfortable situation. So I hope that the fiance is at a female prison and not a male prison, because that's going to put a lot of strain on their relationship. I can promise you. I've seen it time and time again, because I'm sure Cindy could tell you it's called prison hot. Okay? When you're stuck around the same sex all day long, the opposite sex, I don't care if you're a 2 or a 5 or 7,
He's
they're
right.
all 10s at some point.
Yes, he's
I
right.
promise you. When you're
He's
stuck,
right.
when you haven't seen the opposite sex in, let's say, 20, 30, 40 years, the
Yes.
first one you see is the best thing you've ever seen.
Fact.
So
Thank
trust
you.
me, I hope, and tell your son this. If she's not at a female prison, transfer to one immediately, because
Yes,
it is going to be a serious strain on the relationship.
I
See, she
agree.
says they both work at the same place. God bless.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh,
Well, God bless them,
wow.
but that is very difficult. I can definitely speak to that. I know that I was an all female, I was in women's prison, and it's true. Women didn't distinguish between good looking, there was no such thing.
There is
That
no
was a
such thing.
dude,
It's called
and
prison hot.
yeah, it was the thirst was real. The thirst was
They
real.
call it a prison 10.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, listen, it doesn't exist. He has the right equipment in his pants. It doesn't matter, and it's true.
Yes.
And it's sad, and a lot of women were inappropriate with officers, and
Oh
it's
yeah, Missy. Oh yeah, it goes both ways. Yes, you're
yeah,
for the
definitely.
female COs that work at the man's facility. Oh yeah, staff on it doesn't matter.
Oh
Like
yes,
there's going to
goes
be the
both
female
ways.
staff trying to take him away. That
Thank you.
yes, that's
Mhm.
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
one of the bigger reasons why the divorce rate is
Yep.
so high.
Yep.
Mhm.
But I always had one big because I was completely single when I first started in the department, and
Mhm.
my theory was you don't shit where you eat.
You don't. You don't.
Yes, yes. They said that too in the police academy that once you put on that uniform, you cannot be swayed by, the one. I'll say it because my
Thank
son,
you.
you can't, like, women are going to be looking at him just because he's in a uniform. And I kid you not, these men that were 30 years in a police force, and the sheriff standing up there and saying women are going to throw themselves at you. You have to remember that you have a family, you have kids, you have a wife, or you have a husband, and that's your priority. These women are throwing themselves at you because you have power, because you're wearing a uniform. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, they
Yeah.
said that.
And you know what, too? My final thought is, you, even as an inmate, right? Even when I was an inmate, I still had my integrity and my respect. And I wasn't going to cheapen that, and I was good. Listen, and not to be vulgar, I'm sorry. Listen, we all adults here. I've said it many, many times. I know how to play the guitar. Tung, taka, tung, tung, taka, tung. So I was good. I didn't need to worry about none of that. I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to ever risk somebody's job for what? You know what I mean? I wouldn't respect somebody
But
that
you're
was
not the
willing to
norm,
do that.
Cindy. You're not the norm. You're not.
Yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
you're not.
no.
You have good morals and good intentions, but unfortunately,
Sometimes.
that's not the majority of people. Like I can't
Yeah.
even tell you. Like I would have I would have visiting for the day, and literally a lot of times the whole family would come. You would have brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, whatever, and the amount of numbers that got slipped to me from sisters, from wives, from fiancés, you name it.
Yeah.
I would we used to have a
It's crazy.
we used to have two trash pails. We would have a numbers pail and then just the regular garbage. And I would always get so much shit because I'd have so many fucking numbers to get rid of at the end of the
Oh
day.
my
But
God, that's
it's
insane.
it's just the reality. It is.
That is the reality of it. And
Yeah, I guess you're making a whole new world for yourself. So,
but you know what I want to say too, that I think that women, we tend to say, men hit on us and it's but we need to remember that men deserve that same respect. It's not flattering. And me and JJ are going to be doing a whole live about women and men and etiquette and all of those,
yeah, and dating, and
and
we're going to
dating
have
and
fun.
self-respect.
Yep.
And I know I have 5 sons. I have 9 brothers, and my brothers always found it. They weren't really into girls that were too abrasive. They liked the chase. They liked all of that. So, we got to remember, men, you got to be easy sometimes, got to be easy.
Mm.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
thank you, BB. I appreciate it. And
Yes.
Bliss, Chris.
Yes. Hey, Bliss.
You know what though, I gotta give the majority of some of the women the majority of the credit because they protect me. I have a good group of women who put it out there very quickly, where I stand and what my situation is, and they
That's
nip it
right.
in the butt before it gets to be anything disrespectful. So
That's right.
thankfully, I don't see it because they pretty much weed it out before it
Yep.
gets to me.
Yep.
So
And we
Yeah.
said it last time. We said he's taken. I said it here. I did.
Yes.
I did. I
Yes.
put it
Yes.
out there before you even came on here. So he plays many
We
games, not
said
30.
he's
and
fine.
J
Ladies, you're going to have some eye
JFid's my
candy.
Oh,
JFid is
yeah,
my
Japhid.
YouTube mother, so she handles that really good for me.
That's right. Oh yeah,
Oh,
JFid.
we
She's
love her,
ours
man.
too. She's ours
She's
too. She
our
plays no
girl.
games. Yes, she plays no games. That's right. Do not
All
come
right,
for
ladies, I'll
Kevin.
let you do your thing.
Thank
I
you,
have to
Kevin.
run
Okay.
Thank you so
anytime.
much.
Bye.
I
This
appreciate
was
you
so
so
Anytime.
much.
fascinating. Come back.
I'm
You got to
glad you
come back.
listen.
Yes,
I'll
we
come
would
back
love to have
anytime.
you again. Thank you, Kevin, so much.
Anytime, ladies.
Yes.
Enjoy the rest of your
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Bye
Good
bye.
night.
Bye. Good
Bye.
Bye.
night. That was awesome.
Sorry, I was doing the bong chicka bong bong. Or sorry,
Bah,
sorry.
chicka, bah,
I could say
bah.
now that he's gone. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, he's very married, y'all. Yes, he is. So we respect. He's a nice guy, very handsome. He's also very
Yes.
married. So we respect that boundaries, all that good shit. We respect that here. But you can't hurt
100%.
to look, right? Can't you enjoy the
Right.
scenery? Enjoy the
We're
scenery.
married, not blind. I
Just
mean,
don't pluck
hello.
the flowers. You can look at the flowers. You just don't pluck them. You don't try to take them out the ground. We try to leave them where they at. So anyway, okay. Anyway, sorry. Hi, Christina Vernie.
You
Sorry.
flustered, Cindy.
Whew. Okay. Anyway, he is good people. He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yes.
Um, and I really appreciate him coming here and letting you guys hear from somebody who was a CO, and what his experience is, because I have friends that are COs, and I respect them, and I think that they do a very hard and dangerous job, you know. And I wanted you guys to hear from that perspective, because I always talk about my perspective as a former inmate, a felon. Not proud of it. That's not me bragging. I actually am kind of ashamed of that, but it's shaped me, and
Hmm.
I think
It's
it's
who
made
you
me
are.
a better person. Yeah, it's made me a better person, you know.
Yeah.
And I would love to have him back. I know some questions weren't answered, and I'm sorry, guys, but we can definitely have him on again, and I really would like to do that. So I do want to say
Yeah.
to the new members, but I want to say, listen, we're still gonna do the giveaway. It's still going, but I wanted to extend it one more week for anybody who wants to enter, because I did get some new subscribers. You can enter under the live that is titled giveaway.
Hmm.
You just, in my comment section of that live, just comment and let me know that you want to enter. It was also for a charity. So, and listen, I'm gonna say this. We always do that. We do charity drives. Any and every single time we do a charity fundraiser, the money goes directly to the fundraiser. No money is funneled through us.
Uh-uh.
Never want anything to be donated to me. I don't have to play middleman. I don't need to donate it. You guys are more than equipped to donate it directly. That is the point, for the charity to get the donation. And so that's why it will always be done that way on this channel, always and forever. Okay. So it is for a
Mhm.
charity. It is for a charity for Turkey and Syria. And anybody who donates directly to the charity will get an extra entry. I was also debating if I should just maybe, instead of, because if somebody wins from outside of the US, I'm not going to ship the makeup to them. It will
Right.
be a card for $25. So I thought maybe that'll be too difficult. If they wanted me just to send them the $25 through Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, I can do that. If you have
Okay.
one of those three, I can do that. You will get the money immediately to one of those: Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. I have those three. So I can send the $25 to you that way. So you don't have to worry about a gift card. You can get the money directly. But that is what we're doing: a makeup, a palette, a lip product, and the Natasha Denona highlighter and blush. That is the makeup. And um, or you can choose the $25 or the makeup. And if it's outside of the US, automatically the $25. So I'm extending it till next Friday so that more people can enter, because there was only a few entries and I want more people to enter. All you have to do is be subscribed to my channel. I'm not asking you to, run through a ring of fire or all of this shit. Just be subscribed to my channel and comment under that, and that's it. And if you donate to the charity, directly to the charity, you get an extra entry. That's it. So, JJ, do you have the names of the new members?
Of course I do.
Thank you, JFid. Yes,
Yes, I am co-host extraordinaire.
yes, you are.
Okay, I have the names. So, welcome to the Sweetie Pies,
Yes.
Missy Tessa, our beautiful
Yay.
Missy, Miss Lindsay,
Yes.
Pamela Barr. Hey, girl, you now a member.
Hey,
Wildflower.
Pam.
Yay.
Wildflower tea. Yay.
Peace and Cues, Pat Alexander,
Yay.
Harmony. And the
Harmony too.
very last one, we saved the best for last. Lizzie, our fan
Lizzie
Stardust.
got one again. Oh, congratulations, Lizzie.
Yes.
I'm so congratulations to all of you guys. I am so glad you guys, get to be members at least for 1 month. You can go and watch all the members only lives and enjoy them. She makes me laugh. But welcome to everybody that became a member, and thank you, JJ. I didn't even see it. I saw you say something, so then I had to run and get my phone to see what you had done. So thank you for gifting the 10 memberships, and
I'm
thank you
happy to have
and welcome.
everybody.
Yes, and welcome to all the new members. Enjoy,
Hmm.
every Monday is alive. So at least you have four to make up your mind if you can afford it, because I understand not everybody can afford it. We're heading into a recession, almost
Yeah,
bypassing recession, going straight into depression. So I understand money's tight, times are hard, and the boulevard, I get it. I appreciate
right.
all my members so much. You
But
guys,
if you can, because you guys that just became members, watch the
thank
Monday
you.
lives. That's
Thank you,
when
babe.
Cindy and I, or just Cindy or whatever, on Mondays, we get
What?
saucy and we talk
Yes.
about whatever unfiltered.
Yes, everything,
So,
any and everything.
yep.
Whatever we feeling, we get it off our chest. And I do talk about prison. I do want to share some more stories there because I'm not going to share them here. But yeah, so we will be doing that. So we're extending the giveaway again till next Friday. Please enter if you would like to win. That's all you have to do. You don't have to donate. The donation was just to the charity to help with everyone that's been affected by the earthquake that devastated Turkey and Syria. And you will get an extra entry. But all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and comment under that live that you would like to be entered with any food emoji. The food emoji is what will let me know that you want to be entered, because I'm going through it all. So I just want to make sure and give people more time to enter if they'd like to. Okay, so next Friday we will do the drawing for the winner, and if
Yay.
somebody from outside of the U.S. wins and gets the $25, the makeup will be held for March. I will have another giveaway where the makeup will be given to somebody. So even if you don't get them, the makeup is held over in March, it will go to somebody, and I'll just add some more stuff to it. So that's what we're
Yeah.
gonna. Okay.
Hmm.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this evening. Thank you, Manita, for coming up here with me. I
Of
really enjoyed
course.
Kevin sharing his
Me
experience.
too. This
Um,
was fun.
it was fascinating. It was
Hmm.
fascinating because he's not even from New York. I know some things about New York, but Connecticut, hearing from somewhere else, it was very, very interesting. And Missy Tessa, you're right. I would love to have Kevin on again. And I spoke to somebody else. I'm not going to out it because I keep their anonymity and privacy. That was also a corrections officer. She's a female. And I was talking to her. And even if she doesn't come on panel, maybe she can tell me her story and I can relay it to you guys, because I think that would be amazing as well. So I
Yes.
do, and I'm not really an interviewer. I'm trying to get better with that. I really like doing that. Um, and I just enjoyed tonight, and I'm glad that you guys were here, and I appreciate you guys. Oh, what I was gonna say, Missy Tessa said maybe before, if we have Kevin on again, I'll do a community post or something where you can put all your questions there.
Yes.
That way
Good
I can be
idea.
sure to see them, because it's hard for me, even with these glasses. I told you I can't see. So I think that's what we'll do. A day before we schedule a live with Kevin, we'll do a community post, and you can post all your questions there. That way all I have to do is look at them, and we can ask him all the questions, and we can do that. And you can still, of course, ask questions in the chat, but I think that way we won't miss any questions. You know what I mean? It'll just be so much easier. Thank you. And I appreciate you guys with the questions. You guys were amazing. Wait, what live do we comment on? It's I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, Lindsay. It's shut. Okay, it's called Giveaway Live Stream. I don't know if you could shit. It's the title says Giveaway Live Stream hashtag directrelief.org. And then on the thumbnail, it says giveaway stream charity. So it's on my live. It's a few lives down. It was done 7 days ago. So exactly a week last Friday. excuse me, and in the title it says giveaway, and in the thumbnail it says giveaway and charity. So you comment in the comment section under that live, just put a food emoji, and I will know that you're entering to win. You're entering the giveaway. Okay?
Yep.
You are
And
smart.
if
You are smart, Missy Tessa. Okay, you're in,
yes,
Lindsay. Good. All right.
so
I
all you
love
gotta
you too,
do
Jen.
is
Love
put
you.
the food emoji in that live, and if
Yes.
you want an extra entry,
Yes.
you donate to the charity.
Yes. You donate to the charity, directly to the charity, and then you just let us know in the comment section. Like some people entered and then donated later. You can just edit and say I donated as well, and that'll be a second entry. It's not
Yep.
mandatory to enter the giveaway. So I think people were confused. You can donate if you have it to help the charity, but it's not mandatory to enter the giveaway. The giveaway is just as an appreciation, and we did want to do the charity fundraiser as well. So thank you guys. Thank you. And thank you all for being here again. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Yep.
God willing, be back Sunday to talk about addiction. I do want to have Missy Tessa on. You guys know Missy Tessa is from Canada. And
Hmm.
she's an expert. She actually works in clinic, does this every day. I would love to have her on to talk about addiction and recovery. And she's an amazing resource in the community um, of addiction and recovery. So I would really love to have her on and pick her brain about some stuff. But I will talk to her about that. But Sunday we will be here to have our regular, talk about addiction, recovery, all of that good stuff. Monday is our members only. All my new members, I think y'all gonna enjoy it. We have fun there. So I thank you guys. Seriously. Yes, she would. I love her. Yes. Oh, good. March 2nd is your birthday, my Miranda.
Yay!
We have to
Do you have
celebrate
a
your
wish
birthday.
list,
Yeah, you need
Miranda?
to
Do
get
you
a
have a
wish list,
wish list?
Miranda, so we could share your birthday wish list.
Yes.
Make a wish list. If you have one, give it to us and post it here. And if you don't, get on your job and make one. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. She is amazing. Missy is amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you guys for being here, and I hope you guys enjoy your Friday night, enjoy your weekend. And again, God
Hmm.
willing, we'll see each other on Sunday. Si Dios quiere, nos vemos el domingo, right? All that good
Hmm.
stuff. Te quiero, te adoro. JJ, I love you so much, manita. Thank you so
I
much.
love you.
And I love you all. Congratulations to all the new members. JJ, again, thank you. And
Thank you.
Wanda, thank you for the super chat earlier. I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
Well, you
This was
better
a
make
lot of fun.
Kevin's channel. Let's drop it first before let's drop
Yeah.
Kevin.
Drop Kevin's channel before, and then we could probably put it in the description too for
Yeah.
anybody later on.
All right. I got it.
If
Hold on.
someone could drop it. Oh, you
I got
got
it.
it? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Here's Kevin's channel.
This was fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Kevin's channel, the link is in the chat for anybody that want to subscribe to his channel. I was so appreciative of him being here, and he was feeling ill on Wednesday. He still came today, had family stuff, but still came through for us. So I really appreciate that so much. And I think it was an amazing conversation. I really, really do. And I'm so appreciative of that. So
Hmm.
thank you guys again. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you Sunday. Me and
Yep.
JJ will see you guys Sunday. I love you guys. Have a good
Love you
night.
guys. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Yeah. Miranda, he doesn't have any content yet, but hopefully he'll make some soon. Good night, guys.